All right, guys. Now the audio isn't working. All right, guys. For a minute there, it looked like the audio wasn't working. Welcome back to the stream. At any moment now, I'm waiting. At any moment, it's cracking audio. Okay, did I fix it? Are we good? Sorry about that. Okay, so the camera has a built-in microphone, and I guess because I basically did a hard reset on everything, it was actually picking up the audio through the camera as well. So sorry about that. Pretty much complete disaster when it comes to technical issues. Just trying to kick off this stream. We'll see what happens with the camera. I did restart everything. So, oh my God, there's no fucking way. Okay, I just saw it freeze. It froze and then it unfroze. And it's freezing. Oh, dude. I don't know what's wrong at this point. Let me see. We have a $10 super chat from Yaron. He says, about the rivet thing, the artist was harassed by that person and every day would come in and yell, rivets T. I'm not going to. Whoa, hey. Luna, what are you doing? Okay, why is everything this chaotic? Sorry, she almost just knocked something down. You're saying about the rivet thing, the artist who harassed that person and every day would come in and yell, rivets T's. Also, a new AI was able to recreate CSGO. You can play it now on PC. It's about 1.5 gigabytes. Well, yeah, we did talk a little bit about that situation with that artist, and the Insomniac situation. I did read that, and it was, like, very strange. But you're saying AI was able to recreate CSGO, and you can play it now on PC. Yeah, that's pretty interesting to think. How far away are we from AI being able to recreate AAA games that we play? And soon devs won't have to worry about making AAA games anymore because AI will do it for them. Yaron, thank you for the $10 super chat. By the way, I do want to ask you guys, do you notice anything different about the picture quality? Does the frame rate seem higher? This whole time my camera was locked at 30 frames per second. I have it at 60 FPS now. Do you see a difference in the smoothness? I don't know. Hopefully you do. But Yaron, thank you for the super chat, buddy. And I'm not sure if there's still hitching and freezing going on or not, or if everything's okay now. I'm gonna have it seems to be freezing every couple of seconds. The camera doesn't feel that hot. It's freezing every couple of seconds. I mean, on my end, it keeps showing that it's freezing. I don't know if it's coming through to you guys. Like, I just want it to function normally so we can just have a good show. But MBG remastered at 60 frames per second. Yes. All right, well, I'll just try my best. I'll try my best to just proceed normally here. And see, I knew that was going to happen. Like, we had, I think, almost 250 people here before I ended my stream. And I knew that once I ended it and restarted it, it was going to cut that viewership in half. And that's what happened. I'm going to do one more thing before I try to proceed as, usual here and just see what happens. All right, I don't know if that changed anything or not, but yeah, I do appreciate you guys tuning in for a second time. Definitely not a run-of-the-mill stream here, not how we normally do things, but let me know. Yeah, let me know if it's still hitching a little bit. I changed the setting just now, and I feel like it may have fixed the hitching problem, but I guess we'll see. So I do apologize for the extent of the technical difficulties, but it does happen, and I have to try to course correct when they occur. But I think we're good. So let's try to just approach this, as if nothing happened. So welcome back to the stream, guys. I hope everybody's doing well today. Shadowlink asks what happened. We had some very annoying technical difficulties, almost like an hour's worth of technical difficulties. And it seems like maybe, just maybe, we figured it out. Not entirely sure, though. But thank you guys for tuning in. I'm going to give you a rundown of the topics that we're going to be discussing over the course of this stream, as long as it doesn't crash or something doesn't go completely wrong. We were going to talk a little bit about the Horizon Zero Dawn remaster because Digital Foundry got their hands on it exclusively and did a analysis, and it seems the results are maybe better than what we were expecting. And so I figured we could just kind of cover that, talk about it. We're also going to be talking about a developer who recently decided to talk a little bit about the PS5 Pro and is actually comparing it to the PS4 Pro. And I thought that what they had to say was pretty interesting. So we'll cover that. We're going to talk a little bit about PlayStation Stars because, I mean, it seems like Sony is making some changes that fans are not entirely happy with, but they're doing it anyway. Digital Dude 25 with a $5 super chat says, "How was that tongue twister yesterday on Twitter, MBG?" Yeah, that was one of them. Digital Dude, that was a tongue twister. I know that you've been having a really good time putting those out in super chats, which I do appreciate the support, Digital Dude. But Digital Dude's coming in being like, "Oh, you want to talk about PlayStation, huh? Well, how about I just super chat you some tongue twisters instead?" Yeah, Chase, we're going to talk about that. All right. So I'm trying to just act normal right now, but I keep waiting for something to go wrong at any moment. Devil Shooter says Sony doing something the fans don't like. I don't believe you. All right, guys. Well, listen, before we actually dive into these topics and get deeper into these conversations, I do want to, again, thank you for joining me. I want to give a shout out to those who watch the streams later on because they can't catch them live. I appreciate the viewership. I want to ask you guys to please take a moment and hit that like button. We're currently at 35 likes. Let's see if we can bump that up to 50. I also want to just let you guys know a couple of ways you can support the content directly. The first way, become a channel member. You gain access to exclusive perks such as the Members Lounge. We did an extensive Members Lounge yesterday. It was pretty much 2 hours long, and we had a good time. We had some good conversations over there. So, again, consider becoming a member. If you're already a member, consider gifting some memberships. A lot of people appreciate getting those membership gifts and being able to kind of check out that content and partake in the member community. And also consider dropping a super chat. Ask a question, give an opinion, make a statement, anything in between. It all helps. There's also a direct donation link at the top of the chat where you can leave a message just like a super chat, but 100% of what you donate goes towards the content creator. Now, I do want to let you know my plan today, and I want to see if we can do this. It's okay if we can't, but I want to try to make a big push for it. My plan today was to strive for 50 members today, whether it be through member gifts or people becoming members. And as a reward, we will do another Morning with the Misses tomorrow morning, where it'll be a members only stream where me and Mrs. MBG chat with you guys and hang out for a while. But we, again, I'm trying to create some incentive here. So I want to just encourage anybody, if that's content that you would like to see and it's something you want to partake in, please consider dropping some membership gifts or becoming a member. Okay, so with that being said, though, we are going to talk about the Horizon Zero Dawn remaster situation because this was announced not that long ago, and obviously the Horizon, really quick, Shadowlink is asking, if so, what time? Don't want to miss the time. It would be at 10 a.m. That's what I would shoot for. It could get pushed back to 10:30 a.m. If I'm running a little bit behind, but I would shoot for 10 a.m. To do the Morning with the Misses. And Titus gets us kicked off today. Oh, and I also forgot to mention as well, now that Titus dropped 5 membership gifts, thank you so much for that, buddy. Today, every time we hit 25 members, I'll drop 5 membership gifts of my own for you guys as well, okay? So I'm not going to count those 5 towards the goal, but we ultimately, if we hit 25, we're actually going to be getting 30 member gifts. If we hit 50, we'll be getting 55, 60 at that point in total, okay? So for every 25 we hit, I'll drop 5 membership gifts for you guys as well. So Titus, thank you so much for getting us started today, buddy. Really do appreciate that. I'm going to add that to the counter. But Horizon Zero Dawn Remastered, a lot of people are perturbed at this game. A lot of people are annoyed that Sony decided to actually remaster Horizon Zero Dawn. A lot of people feel as though this is a game that really doesn't need to be remastered. But at the same time, we did find out that Nixxes Software is the one who did most of the development work for this Horizon Zero Dawn remaster. And now that Digital Foundry has went hands-on with it, they've analyzed it, and they are basically saying, and I'm not kidding, like I'm not exaggerating this, I'm not making this up. John Linneman of Digital Foundry looked over Horizon Zero Dawn Remastered in depth and basically said that what Nixxes and Guerrilla have done with Horizon Zero Dawn Remastered is actually closer to what Bluepoint Games did with something like Demon's Souls or Shadow of the Colossus. Now, he didn't say they're exactly the same, but he said it's actually closer to what would be considered remake territory than just a simple remaster. And I thought that was really interesting and worth highlighting because, again, if you own Horizon Zero Dawn, you are entitled to this remaster for just a $10 upgrade fee, which, based off of what Digital Foundry is showing and what was being presented and the level of upgrades that are on offer here, I mean, it honestly does seem like it's well worth that $10. And to be honest, if you're somebody who never played Horizon Zero Dawn before, and it's just a game that you maybe never got around to, or you just passed you by, and you happen to get a PS5, this, maybe you bought one earlier this generation, maybe you're going to get one later, it's $50 brand new, right? So like, I was actually checking, they do have physical copies of it, which is cool. I was glad to see that they did do that, but it's $50. And Horizon Zero Dawn is a really good game. So I think that the way Sony has handled this, I do agree, generally speaking, that Horizon Zero Dawn is not necessarily a game that comes to mind when I think a game that needs a remaster. I don't think it needed a remaster, but it's also reassuring to know that if they were going to do a remaster either way, they're doing it, I think, the right way. They're giving it to Nixxes Software, so it's not taking away development resources or time from Guerrilla. And on top of that, they're going above and beyond to make sure that, listen, even if you do just pay the $10 to get the upgrade, you're going to be getting, it's not a brand new game, but visually speaking, it looks like a brand new game. And I think that's great. I mean, it could be much worse, is what I'm trying to say. But yeah, it's interesting because I have seen, for as many people as I've seen that are not happy about Sony deciding to remaster Horizon Zero Dawn, I've seen quite a few people expressing interest and excitement and actually going back to it and replaying it and seeing the visual upgrades that are going to be on offer. King Scotto says Horizon Zero Dawn will be the first game he's going to play on the PS5 Pro. Yeah, they did confirm it's going to be PS5 Pro Enhanced, and that's what's interesting is in this Digital Foundry analysis, they didn't even show the PS5 Pro version. They were just showing the base PS5 version. And what's crazy is John Linneman actually recommended, well, it's not crazy, but it's impressive. John Linneman recommended playing the Horizon Zero Dawn Remaster in the performance mode because basically he was saying the performance mode looks nearly as good as the fidelity mode. And I was looking at the comparison and I'm like, yeah, I don't really know why anybody would choose to play in the resolution mode for a game like Horizon Zero Dawn Remastered, because when you see how much improvement there is when it comes to the 60 FPS performance mode, because if you recall, when Horizon Forbidden West first came out, people were a bit disappointed and underwhelmed with just how, I guess you could say, it wasn't blurry. There was like some kind of really bad shimmering issue with the performance mode where it ran pretty smooth, but it didn't look very good. Something about it just looked kind of broken. And Guerrilla Games acknowledged this, and they said that they were going to work on a fix. The problem is it took them a couple of months. It seems like they needed more time than they expected to actually fix this performance mode visual issue. But once they did fix that issue, and I remember I went back and I booted up Horizon Forbidden West to see what changed in the performance mode. It was like a night and day difference. It was actually amazing. I'm like, dude, the visual quality for the performance mode looks nearly as good as the resolution mode, but at 60 FPS. And so they're applying that to Horizon Zero Dawn Remastered. Xbox is King, you're saying 11 more hours till Black Ops 6? Bro, I'm already playing it. Why are you waiting, Xbox is King? Why are you waiting? I got a couple of rounds in earlier. Gotta say, I'm really enjoying it. Gotta say, I'm enjoying the few rounds I played. I was doing really well, and I'm like, this is fun. Except I pulled out a rocket launcher and shot it at a wall and killed myself one time, but you know, accidents happen. Hendrik, you're saying where's Returnal? It's PS5. Where's Returnal? It's PS5 Pro version. Yeah, I don't know. We're gonna have to see what happens with Returnal. I think Returnal's gonna get a base resolution increase. Overall, like I think the raw power of the PS5 Pro is just gonna up the resolution, and it might look sharper and crisper, even without being specifically PS5 Pro enhanced. I think that's what's going to happen because any game that runs at a dynamic resolution will see an automatic improvement when running on the PS5 Pro, and Returnal does run at a dynamic resolution. Did you get the platinum yet? No, I did not. Waylark with a super chat. Thank you, Waylark. You're saying, of course, people are interested in it. Horizon Zero Dawn is PlayStation Studios' best-selling game with 24 million sales. Are you, Waylark? Where are you getting that from? I don't think that's true. You're saying Horizon is PlayStation Studios' best-selling game? 24 million. I mean, are you sure you're not confusing combining Horizon Zero Dawn sales with Forbidden West sales? Because I do not think Horizon Zero Dawn sold 24 million alone. I mean, we also have to keep in mind that Sony gave Horizon Zero Dawn away for free during 2020. So it was like during their Play at Home initiative. So I do wonder, like, do they count that? Because that would be a little bit disingenuous if they decided to count that. But I mean, yeah, Waylark, I do agree with the general sentiment you're getting at here that people, again, we talked about this a little bit yesterday when we were talking about Guerrilla Games and what they had to say about Killzone, but people are interested in Horizon. People do like Horizon. I think some people find that difficult to believe and to grasp, but there are a lot of Horizon fans. I just don't think they're that vocal, honestly. I don't think they're really the ones that are talking that much online. I mean, I do see people here who are big fans of Horizon, but they're out there, man. PS Pro is king. Member for 12 months. Thank you for the support. You're saying, I know BMW will get Pro Enhanced, but where's that confirmation at? I expect they'd announce it by now. I mean, honestly, yeah, I am kind of wondering that myself. Black Myth Wukong is a game that could greatly benefit from the PS5 Pro. And considering they just announced a physical version, I would imagine them announcing PS5 Pro support, or at least that they're going to be working on it, would be extremely beneficial for them. But as of right now, there is no official confirmation that Black Myth Wukong is going to get PS5 Pro Enhanced. If they are planning on releasing it on Xbox, it could be that maybe they're just trying to get that finished first, and then after that, they'll work on maybe a PS5 Pro patch. I'm just speculating, of course, but yeah, that's a game that I think many people would like to see PS5 Pro Enhanced. Novinzer, member for 8 months. Thank you for that, buddy. You're saying, does the Pro have multiple options or just one when it comes to performance? For example, 8K 30 or 4K 60? That's a good question, Novinzer. And the answer to that is it's on a game-by-game basis. The developer gets to choose what type of modes they want to implement when it comes to the PS5 Pro enhancements. For example, Naughty Dog decided with The Last of Us Part 2 to just do one mode called Pro Mode. And Pro Mode is just simply giving you, I say simply, but it's, you know, they're putting a decent amount into it. It's giving you the highest possible image quality that in some cases is actually even better than Fidelity Mode's visual quality, but at 60 FPS. So it's essentially combining the Fidelity Mode and the Performance Mode into one mode they're calling Pro Mode. Other developers, such as yesterday we covered this with Liza P, they're doing an enhancement for their balanced mode, and they're calling it, I think, like Balanced Pro Mode, and they're doing an enhancement for their resolution mode, calling it like Maximum Resolution Mode or something like that. And so we also look at Polyphony Digital, and they decided to actually create an 8K mode for Gran Turismo 7 running on the PS5 Pro. Not sure how many people are going to be able to actually take advantage of that, but basically it just comes down to the developer. They get to decide how many different modes and how many different ways they want to enhance their game for the PS5 Pro. Insomniac did kind of talk about the idea of potentially doing a PS5 Pro fidelity mode for Spider-Man 2, where essentially what they said they would do is it would be locked at 30 frames per second. It would probably run at native 4K, but they want to basically see how far they can go with ray tracing. They want to like add as much ray tracing as possible to the game to make it look as pretty and as shiny as they possibly can. They teased doing something like that. So it's kind of funny because when you look at the way Mark Cerny presented the PS5 Pro, he's like, you won't have to choose anymore. Gamers choose the performance mode, but the irony is that developers, you know, they're still going to have different modes to choose from, because the truth is developers are probably just having fun kind of experimenting and seeing like, what can we do? Like, what different directions can we go in? And yeah, so that's basically the way it works. Thought Horizon 1 was amazing looking, but never got around to finishing it. Yeah, Horizon Zero Dawn was one of the best looking games on the PS4 that generation. I want to read this to you here really quickly, guys. This is coming from Eurogamer, aka Digital Foundry, Digital Foundry does these write-ups for Eurogamer. The title of their write-up says Horizon Zero Dawn Remastered Tech Review. Yes, the upgrades are worthwhile. An unchanged game, but enhancements and options that show PS5 at its best. They say even today, Horizon Forbidden West on PlayStation 5 stands as one of the best-looking games available for Sony's platform. The lush world, overflowing with detail, is stunning to behold, delivering a significant leap forward over its predecessor on PS4. And yet, despite the gap, Zero Dawn is still a great-looking game, already running at 60 frames per second on PS5. So the very idea of a remake of Horizon Zero Dawn seemed silly when we first caught wind of it. But it turns out that's what we have. What we have is a robust remaster helmed primarily by Nixxes that manages to greatly enhance the visuals while introducing the full suite of options available in the second game. Is this enough to warrant the effort? And is it worth the relatively meager $10 upgrade price for owners of the original game? When you first boot up the new version of Horizon, perhaps the first thing you'll notice is the option to import your save file from PlayStation 4. This is not a full remake after all, so you can directly pull over your original saves. In my case, I decided to leverage the New Game Plus option to begin with a full selection of equipment. Beyond this, there are many options available this time. All the gameplay, HUD, and accessibility options made available in Horizon Forbidden West have made the jump. The options menu is far more robust than the original game as a result, allowing you to better tweak the gameplay to your tastes. This also includes the performance options like Forbidden West. Players have access to 30 FPS, 40 FPS, and 60 FPS modes, each offering various trade-offs between performance and image quality. The game seems to use the same dynamic resolution scaling exactly like Horizon Forbidden West before it, with quality mode aiming for native 4K, while performance modes drop slightly below, targeting 1800p on average. Thankfully, the anti-aliasing matches the current version of Forbidden West, so it's very clean compared to the initial launch versions of that game. We have the Combo Clinic here, who is a longtime member, 46 months. The Combo Clinic, thank you so much for that long-time support, buddy. You're saying Horizon Zero Dawn did sell almost 25 million by itself with PS4 and PC. Forbidden West sold almost 9 million. I'm surprised you didn't know this. Look it up, LOL. Yeah, actually, you know what? I did come across something yesterday, the Combo Clinic, that said in total, the Horizon series has sold over 35 million units, combining Horizon Zero Dawn and Forbidden West. And I guess what I'm surprised by is the fact that Zero Dawn sold that many, right? Like, I thought it would have been a more even split, but it does seem like Zero Dawn, I mean, it's been out a lot longer, of course, and it did get released on PC. I mean, Forbidden West is on PC now too, but yeah, I don't know. I guess for some reason it just didn't register in my brain that Horizon Zero Dawn makes up, 2/3 of those sales, not half. So, I mean, again, man, when we talk about Guerrilla and why they don't want to go back to Killzone and why they don't want to move away from Horizon, when you look at those sales numbers, I think it's understandable. It may not be ideal for everybody, but it's understandable just from a logical point of view why they're going to be like, yeah, we're just going to stick with Horizon for now. Because even me, right? Like, somebody who pays this close attention to PlayStation, even I kind of overlooked the fact that, bro, Horizon Zero Dawn sold like over 20 million copies alone. We'll have to see what Forbidden West ends up doing in the long run. It says here, beyond image quality differences, however, the three modes are all roughly the same. Personally, the image quality and performance mode is strong enough that I recommend this mode over the others. Nixxes also confirmed to us that Horizon Remastered already includes PS5 Pro support, which will automatically activate when played on the new console. It's also worth mentioning that performance is, by and large, perfect. Each mode delivers on their performance targets, along with an unlocked frame rate mode for VRR displays. This doesn't deliver frame rates that much higher than 60 FPS, but it's nice that it's there. And of course, there are potential benefits via playback on future PlayStation hardware. Yeah, reload this. I lost my chat here. Saying 9 million sales for over $200 million budget is not good. Waylark, why is it not show me some of these chats? Dude, I'm getting really fed up with the amount of technical problems I'm experiencing these days. Sorry, guys. Just venting a bit of frustration here. We have Waylark. He says it's ahead of God of War, 23 million, and Spider-Man, 22 million. That's like, I don't know, man. That's pretty nuts. I mean, another argument that I see people make, and I don't know how I feel about this one. People say, well, it doesn't matter because these games were basically just given away in bundles. And I mean, I guess it's true, yeah, that there were bundles, right? But I don't know. I guess it would kind of skew the data a little bit, at least somewhat. But I'm not going to read the entirety of this write-up simply because it's very extensive. And I do recommend, if you're interested, if you're at all interested in finding out like just how much Nixxes did with this Horizon Zero Dawn remaster, I mean, Digital Foundry does a very good job in this video, and they show a lot of side-by-sides. And when looking at the side-by-sides, you can, I mean, there are a lot of things that, yeah, okay, it's like that's Horizon Zero Dawn. But they really essentially did take everything that they put into Forbidden West visually and performance wise, and even just when it comes to the assets, they redid some of the assets, which was pretty impressive. I mean, they really brought it up. And I guess I wasn't necessarily expecting all of that. You know, for a $10 upgrade, I was expecting something a bit more subtle, a bit more subdued in a way. And I don't know, I might replay Horizon Zero Dawn, honestly. You know? It's been a long time since I played Horizon Zero Dawn. I played it back, I think, in like 2018 or 2019, I think it was actually. And I only played it one time. I really enjoyed my playthrough, though. Waylark with another super chat says, so if GTA 6 comes in a PlayStation bundle, Take-Two's not counting? Well, that's what I mean, Waylark. I don't know why people use that. I think the reason why people use that as like a weapon sometimes is because it's like, well, a lot of people who have no interest in that game ended up being purchasers of the game because they were interested in buying the PlayStation console. And I'm like, all right, I get it, but still, like, it's like you're saying, what's the like, why would Sony? What's the problem with Sony using that? I mean, the only real problem with it, I would say, is that people maybe get a little bit worried that, well, it's because the interest is not that high. You know what I mean? Like, if like 1/3 of Horizon Zero Dawn's sales come from like bundles, you know, they came from PS4 bundles. yeah, I could understand where it's like, all right, well, maybe the interest isn't as high, right, as they make it seem. But like, it's still pretty obvious. Like, I tried to um like tell people when Sony was making all these other bundles, like the Horizon Forbidden West PS5 bundle, like you had to pay for the game too. And there were ways to just get a base PS5 bundle too. Like you didn't have, that wasn't your only option to get a PS5. So if you bought like the bundle, you were also paying for the game. So like in that case, I'm saying it makes even more sense that they count those because those are actual like legitimate sales of the game. Saying Leo says Xbox looking for any possible reason to downplay PlayStation. I mean, yeah, there's definitely some of that out there as well. There are people who they do try very much to downplay. They try really hard in some cases to downplay the success that some of these PlayStation games and their IP and the sales success. They try to downplay it. I don't know why. I mean, it's not like it's not a bad thing, you know. I mean, I guess maybe it's a bad thing for some people if they just don't want to see these games succeed. Um, again, like I know that there are people out there where they're like they do want Guerrilla Games to do other things. They don't want them to just do all Horizon, nothing but Horizon all the time. And I feel like the problem with that is again, it kind of flies in the face of, but they are finding more success than they ever have. And I think that that's where people kind of get that attitude where it's like, no, it's not that successful. Like it's not as successful as you think, you know, like half of it's made up or whatever. And I get it. Like if you believe that, then you believe that eventually the truth will be revealed that people weren't ever that interested in Horizon to begin with, and then Guerrilla will move on to something else. But I just don't think it's going to work like that. I think there is a lot of genuine interest in Horizon. But yeah, man. The Horizon Zero Dawn remaster, not the most exciting thing in the world. Definitely not the game that needed to be remastered. There are many other games that probably should, you know, deserved getting remastered before Horizon Zero Dawn did. But like I said, I'm at least glad to know that for what it is, it seems like a pretty good deal overall. $10 upgrade, really good enhancements, really, really good visual overhaul. And I would say a really great entry point, honestly, for anybody who maybe didn't play the Horizon series yet or any of the games in the Horizon series. I mean, if you didn't play Horizon Zero Dawn on the PS4 or on PC and this is going to be your first time playing it, I mean, it looks like you're by far and away going to be playing the best version that we've seen so far. Xbox is king. You're saying I would just like Sony to make some new IP. It feels like the PS5 is PS4.5. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I think that that's where the second half of this generation, leading in even to the PlayStation 6 generation, is going to be very interesting because there is a lot of new IP in development. It's just I think the real problem is that the problem isn't even that these new games that Sony is developing, it's not even that they're taking so long to develop. It's not that they're going to take 5, 6, 7 years. I think people already kind of expect that. The problem is that long development cycle coincides with a new approach to how PlayStation Studios likes to reveal their games, as we saw with Ghost of Yotei. So when we do see a new IP from Naughty Dog, when we do see a new IP from Bluepoint, when we do see a new IP from Housemarque or Santa Monica Studio, these are all studios that are working on new IP. We're not going to see them until they're basically going to release in the next year, maybe 2 years at most, maybe even like a year and a half or something like that, kind of the in-between. And I think it's that part that's making people get a little bit frustrated because, well, I mean, you know, people are basically still waiting to hear from these studios and we're not. And so people start to assume the worst. They assume that maybe these games just don't exist, or maybe they're just going to be bad, or there's development problems. And I get it, you know? But I think Sucker Punch kind of proved that, well, just let us cook. And when we're ready to reveal, you might be a little bit surprised at just how soon you'll actually be playing the game once we reveal it. And that's assuming it doesn't get delayed, you know? But I totally get where you're coming from. Nothing wrong with wanting more new IP. How old are you, MBG? Like, were you around when the PS1 dropped? I was born when the PS1 dropped. I was 1 year old. 1 years old. I was just a 1 year old when the PS1 dropped. And I ended up getting my first PlayStation 1, I think, when I was like 4 years old. I was either 4 or 5 years old. I did also have a Nintendo 64. So technically I am a PlayStation OG, you know? Carl, you're saying I love the Killzone games, but the last one wasn't that good, really, and it pains me to say that. It does seem like, from what I could tell, they were trying to do something pretty different with Killzone Shadowfall compared to the previous 3 Killzone games, for better or for worse. I'm going to put up a poll, by the way. Let me do this. Sorry. Hang tight, guys. All right. I'm putting out this poll. I'm asking you guys, are you getting Horizon Zero Dawn Remastered? Yes, through the $10 upgrade. Yes, buying full price. Or just simply no. Be sure to vote on that. Juan Shanks, member for 16 months. Thank you for the support, buddy. You're saying the second half of the PlayStation generation is always better. Are we expecting too much for a good generation overall? Well, first off, I do agree. The way this has always worked is the second half of the generation is the stronger half, the better half. And I do fully expect, unless something goes completely wrong or haywire, which is possible, but I do fully expect that the second half of the PS5 generation will also, follow that pattern. It will be the better half of the generation. Now, as for the second part of what you're asking here, like, are we expecting too much for a good generation overall? I mean, I'm gonna say from a consumer and a fan level, no, there's nothing wrong with having high expectations and saying, look at the PS4 generation was this great, then I expect the PS5 generation to be even greater. And that's especially true. That's doubly true if we're, being asked to spend more money, where games are now more expensive, the hardware is more expensive, the accessories are more expensive. The price, I think, is okay as long as they're fulfilling their end of it, right? And that's kind of why, like, one of the biggest arguments that people have for something like the PS5 Pro right now is like, oh, you're buying it to play older games and games that are already out. It's like, okay, I get where you're coming from, but let's return to that a year from now. Let's see what it looks like then. And I have a feeling that a year from now, the PS5 Pro will probably look way more valuable than it does now. And I think it's it's just one of these situations where the Pro right now is only geared towards the enthusiasts, and I'm getting a little bit too far away from what you're asking here, but no, I do think that it's fair to have a high expectation for Sony this generation. But regardless of the expectation we have, you know, they're doing what they're doing, and they're going to do what they're going to do. And so, you know, I saw today, for example, like we covered this in yesterday's stream, but I put this out in a video today, and it was covering the fact that the PS5 sales dropped by 45%. And I saw quite a few people in the comments like celebrating that. Like they are happy to see that the PS5 is starting to drop in sales. Some people were saying it's because, Sony needs a wake up call, and Sony needs to, they need to listen to the fans, and they need to get, they need to kind of get back in the saddle, so to speak. And to be honest, like, I'm totally fine with that as well. Like, I don't know that I feel that strongly about it, but yeah, I'm not opposed to seeing Sony begin to struggle sales wise, because what that will mean is they're going to be forced to either do more or try something different. And both of those things sound good to me. I would like to see Sony kind of come out and be like, our sales are dropping. Maybe we need to put on a bigger, more exciting show. Something like that, If Then Statement comes in out of nowhere, bro. Dropping a 20 bomb on you guys. 20 memberships gifted by If Then Statement. This has to be the first time I'm even seeing this individual on the channel, let alone seeing them drop membership gifts. But boom, just like that, we hit the halfway point of our goal today. 25 members gifted. And as promised, I'm going to drop 5 more for you guys. So If Then Statement.
Holy shit.
Thank you so much for that 20 bomb, bro. Let me make sure this is going to work so I can drop some gifts for you guys too. Oh God, hold on. I was not prepared for this. Let's see if it works. Did it work? There we go. All right, so like I said, every 25 we hit, I will drop 5 more for you guys. And I just want to let everybody know who just got a membership gift. I want to let everybody know, if you received a membership gift, please go check out the members content. We did a 2-hour members lounge yesterday. It was a pretty good one. I enjoyed it. So go check that out. And now that we are at the halfway point today, we're at 25 more memberships, guys. And we will do an episode of Morning with the Misses tomorrow morning, okay? So let me update this. And then we'll continue our conversation. There we go. All right, so there we go. Halfway there. Let's see if we can make it happen. What time? If we are able to do it, we're going to do it at 10 a.m. tomorrow. 10 a.m. 10 a.m. Eastern time. Sorry. 10 a.m. Eastern time. I got to remember to say that because I know everybody's time zones are different. 10 a.m. ET. Let's see. The Drum Man 77 says, gift me MBG, please. I don't get to choose who gets the gifts, man. The gifts get distributed automatically. I think the more active you are in the chat, the more consistently you tune into the streams, and the more you're on the channel overall, the higher the chance are you can receive a membership gift. But we'll see. We'll see, Drum Man. We'll see if you can end up getting a membership gift today. Hopefully you do. Guys, help Drum Man out. He's desperate. He's like, please, I need a membership, man. I need it. And Paul Ganell comes in. Paul Ganell, he's keeping the member train going. He wants to see us hit that goal today. He drops another 5 memberships for you guys. Paul, thank you so much, bro. Thank you for keeping it going. And Angry Whale Watcher jumps in. Angry Whale Watcher drops a single gift as well. Thank you, Angry Whale Watcher. Yeah, just a reminder, guys, if you want to contribute to the goal at all, you can still drop single membership gifts. They definitely help. That brings us up to 31, guys. So we're at a point where a 20 bomb will do it. A 20 bomb will do it. Appreciate all the support as always, guys. I'm only able to do this because you make it possible. And I also want to say I appreciate you guys still showing up to the stream and still showing such strong support, even though we had like a technical nightmare earlier on. It's like a whole hour straight of just technical issues. Thought my camera was toast, man. Thought it was done for. But now that I said that, something will probably go wrong now. Angry Well Watcher says, just out here paying it forward. Well, I appreciate that, man. Yeah, we have an awesome community. I appreciate what you guys do for one another and for me and the family as well. Unicorn Tomboy says, I'm looking forward to Monster Hunter Wilds. I do want to try it. Yeah, I want to try it when the beta drops. We covered this yesterday, but it didn't like register in my brain. It didn't register in my brain that like, you know, it's dropping in 4 days for PS Plus subs. And I'm subscribed to PS Plus. So I was like, oh wow, okay, that's literally just a couple days from now. I don't know why that didn't register yesterday. I thought it was like, oh, it's weeks away or whatever. I'll play it when it comes around. But there's a lot. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot going on right now, gaming wise. Call of Duty's dropping. I'm gonna play the campaign. Gonna play zombies. Try out some multiplayer. I think my copy of Until Dawn is either arriving today or tomorrow. Until Dawn might be the first game I play on the PS5 Pro. I'm not sure. But I am thinking about... See, here's another thing I was thinking too. Like, if I'm going to replay Horizon Zero Dawn, if I actually do decide to do that, I think I'm going to buy a physical copy. Because, I mean, it is more expensive. It's $50, but I don't know. It just feels like a game I can add to my collection, And if I do play it again, I kind of want to start over from scratch. It's like a 30, 40-hour game. There is Rebirth as well. Yeah, I still haven't finished Rebirth, and that game looks like it's going to be one of the showcases for the Pro. So then, I want to play the Monster Hunter Wilds beta. People are telling me I need to play Metaphor ReFantasio. Like, don't do it, MBG. Buy a new camera instead. Well, I don't know. It seems to be working okay. The camera seems to be working okay. So I'm thinking maybe my PC just needed to be restarted. It happens. It happens more than you would think. You just got to restart your PC, restart the hardware, and it fixes the problem. MVG, have you finally decided if you're getting the Pro? Yeah, I'm getting the PS5 Pro. I did pre-order it the day pre-orders went live, and yeah, I just... It's because I know I'm going to get one at some point, and I'm just like, you know what? I'll just get one now, and I also want to know if Silent Hill 2 is going to get PS5 Pro Enhanced. But speaking of Monster Hunter Wilds, that's going to be PS5 Pro Enhanced as well. I just don't know if I'm going to buy it yet. I'll know after I play the beta whether or not I'm going to buy it. Because the beta's happening in a couple days, but the game's not coming out till like the end of February. So, got some time. Oh, yeah, we got to feed the beast, too. That's true. That's true. We have to feed the beast, my bad. Before we move on to the next topic, it's time to feed the beast.
Boast, do you read me? It's time to feed the beast.
My God, Luna, I didn't even know you were there. She was like camoed on the other chair sitting next to me. All right, guys, don't fight. Don't fight. Be nice to one another. Oh, dude, Luna's being dominant. Sorry, boss. You're going to have to wait. Luna's the one being dominant now. All right, I'll let Luna have her treats first. And then, boss, you'll go second. Is she being dominant or is boss just being polite? Hang tight, boss. All right. So such a bully. MBG, have you seen the Stalker 2 doc? It's called War Game. It's crazy that the team has gone through what the team has gone through between COVID and some devs leaving to defend Ukraine. I did hear about the documentary. I didn't actually see it yet though. But yeah, Stalker 2, I'm going to be paying attention to that game. It does look really good. If it doesn't come to PlayStation, I probably will play it on PC or maybe, I don't know. I don't think I'm going to get an Xbox at this point. I think the next Xbox I'll get might be the next gen one. I think I've basically made the decision that I'm going to get all the next gen consoles. So like I'm going to get obviously the PlayStation 6 eventually, but I think I will get the next gen Xbox and I'm going to get the Switch too. I'm going to expand, expand my horizons. But if Stalker 2 doesn't come to PlayStation, I'll find a way to play it because it does look really good. I know Devil Shooter once he's like, bro, you got to embrace PC. Who knows? Maybe that'll be the game I play on PC. Boss, bro, don't be sad. Don't be sad. She's almost done. She's taking her good old time eating those treats. Life is much better when you have all the choices available. It's great. Well, I thought about that and yeah, like there's no denying that that's just the best way to go. But I realize my problem is more like an OCD problem. I don't know if it'd be classified as OCD, but like the biggest problem I have is Stalker 2, for example. I don't want when I'm invested in an ecosystem, one of the things that gets me attached to it and keeps me like sticky to it is the metagame, right? So when I used to play on Xbox, I used to achievement hunt, and that was like so important to me. But now I'm on PlayStation, and it's like I would rather Stalker 2 eventually make its way to PlayStation so I can get trophies and get my platinum. Hendrick, thank you so much for the super chat, buddy. You're saying just pre-ordered Horizon Zero Dawn Remastered and bought Alan Wake 2 both physically for €100 in a deal. Going to be my first two pro games. That's awesome, dude. I mean, you're not the only one. I think it was Omen86. I don't know if he's here right now, but he was stoked for Alan Wake 2 as well. And I think that's a game he's going to be playing on this Pro. And I've seen a few people express a lot of excitement for Alan Wake 2 on the Pro. And you know what's sad, Hendrick, is in yesterday's video, I saw somebody leave a comment where they were basically like, they were trying to make fun of the PS5 Pro because they were like, Alan Wake 2 runs at the same resolution on the Pro as it does on the Xbox Series S. And this comment had a bunch of upvotes, and I'm like, what is wrong with people, man? Like, surely you have to be trolling at this point, right? All right, come on, Luna. You gotta make room for boss here. Man, Luna really is yeah, I mean, it's a low IQ take there, right? Because it's like, no, what that person is trying to say is that Alan Wake 2 is going to look the same on the PS5 Pro as it looks on the Xbox Series S. And it's like, that's not how that works. That's not how that's going to work. The PS5 Pro is going to run laps. The PS5 Pro version of Alan Wake 2 is going to run laps around the Series S, as it should. And the internal resolution pretty much has nothing to do with that. Like, there's a difference between a game running at 864p internally and being upped to 1080p versus it running at 864p, it using an AI upscaling technology to up it to what will be essentially close to what will look like a native 4K image, And I just feel like there are not enough people who fully grasp what PSSR is doing for games. And they don't fully grasp like the AI upscaling technology. And I don't blame them. Like if you're not familiar with things like DLSS or FSR, then PSSR is just another thing. It's just, another piece of tech with letters that who knows what it means. So some people are just not going to understand apparently. Okay, Luna, I'm not giving you more treats. I just gave you a bunch. We need to let Boss have some. Waylark, you're saying the one thing I like about Nintendo, no achievements / trophies. You just play the games to play them. Absolutely, Waylark. I said that too, right? Like I've always adored the fact that, and maybe one day that will change, but I wish that it was like that for all the ecosystems. I wish there was like some kind of law against having trophies and achievements. Or you know what? That's too extreme because I know that there's people who genuinely love it. I wish there was like and I talked about this before. I wish there was like a system-wide thing with both PlayStation and Xbox where you go into the settings and there's an option to turn off trophy support, but I mean like on a system-wide level where it like there's no trophy section. Trophies do not exist on your console or any game you put into your console or download on your console if you toggle it off. So when you download a game, there are no trophies. There's no trophy list. There's no nothing. It's all just erased. It's like it doesn't exist. I would love that. I would love that because, I mean, it's not that I don't enjoy trophy hunting, but it's a love-hate thing. There are many games that I think do trophies well and make it fun to try to obtain the platinum. Keyword being fun. But then there are many, and I know all trophy hunters or achievement hunters have felt this pain before, where there's a game where you've already made the decision, like, I am getting the platinum. I am going all the way with this game. And it doesn't really matter how painful it gets because I've already committed to it. And you're locked in, it's like the decision has already been made. So at that point, you're basically at the mercy of how annoying did they make this trophy list, And believe me, there are some trophy lists out there that are just like, the developer, I'm going to be honest, sometimes the developers just seem kind of like a-holes. Like, why are you doing this? Boss, come on. It's your turn now. Come on. Come get some. You've been waiting. You've been good. No, Luna, you're becoming fat too now. You got enough. Boss, you're really going to let Luna do this to you? Come on. Come get your treats. Oh, he's meowing at me like, stop. I could do it myself. No, you can't. Pushing Polygons understands the pain. He says, MBG, yeah, I've already committed to doing Dragon Quest 3 2.5D HD Remake Platinum. Well, Platinum Trophy versus 1000 Gamer Score. I mean, I think the Platinum Trophy overall is better, but I do miss achievements to a degree. I've always liked achievements. I thought Xbox always did a good job with achievements. And the one thing I really liked that Xbox added to was the Diamond achievements. Those were really cool. But I have to admit that there's just something about that Platinum. All right. So we do have like two more main topics of discussion for the stream. Obviously we're going in some different directions here. Like I said, we're not going to ever get too far off the rails, but we'll have some side quests along the way. But I pretty much said everything I need to say about the Horizon Zero Dawn remaster. It's looking good. I know a lot of people are down on it, but for those who aren't, I think we're going to be you're going to be pleased with what Nixus cooked up here. And Hendrick with another super chat. Thank you, buddy. Says, trying to get the platinum for GTA San Andreas, pain. That's what I mean, dude. Like I remember when I played GTA 5, with the achievements and the trophies for that, I was just like, why? You know, like they're just so unbelievably, and Red Dead 2 as well. Like some of these are just ungodly, man. Like this isn't fun. They're like too demanding. So I don't know what the trophy list for San Andreas looks like, but I imagine it's pretty annoying. And it's funny because when I think about when I did play Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, I was playing it back in the PS2 days, and there were no trophies. So it was like, I could just play the game. Take me back, take me back to simpler times. Hendrik, you're also saying never felt much accomplishment when getting a 100% achievement list. The Platinum Trophy changed the game. It definitely did. Yeah. I mean, I've always enjoyed getting 1,000 gamer score and just seeing like the 1,000 out of 1,000. It was always satisfying. But the thing about the Platinum Trophy that was always interesting to me is it's like it is an extra trophy, right? Where it's like you unlock it at the same time you unlock the last one, but it just, you know, it inherently has more value because it's the platinum. So I do like the platinums. I do wonder if Microsoft is ever going to kind of make any changes to the achievements to kind of add something like that, like the Xbox equivalent of a platinum. Let me get this out of here. All right, so here's what we're going to do, guys. We are going to move on to the second topic of discussion for this stream. Before I do that, though, I want you to do me a big favor and hit that like button. All right, we're at 108 likes. Let's see if we can bump that up to 125. You hitting the like button not only lets me know you guys are enjoying the content and enjoying the stream, but it helps with YouTube's algorithm and we can bring new people into the community. So please consider hitting that like button. Pushing Polygons, you're saying, MBG, have you ever made a choice in a game where you were close to getting the plat but decided you wanted to beat the game, and when you did, you realized there was no going back to grab the rest? I mean, I can't think of a game off the top of my head, um, but that 100% has happened to me before, and that's what always gives me anxiety about like getting a new game, where what I do not like doing, I do not like doing this. There are times where I will actually look at trophy lists before the game even comes out. Like if the trophy list came out or the achievement list came out, I will look at it. As long as it's not like spoilery, if it's spoilery, I avoid it. But there are many times where the first thing I do when I boot up a new game is I look at the trophy list because I just want to know, like, what am I looking at here? And it's not that it would deter me from playing a game. It's never been that extreme, right? If I see a trophy list that I despise and I'm like, I'm not doing this, it will not make it so that I'm not playing the game. Absolutely not. Like I think that would be kind of stupid, right? Like I want to play the game, and if I have to just pretend that trophies don't exist for this game to enjoy it, then so be it. But it definitely deflates the overall experience a little bit, where it's like, damn, I guess I just got to accept that this is one game I'm not going to get the platinum for. And it'll be like a splinter in my mind. But I do that because the situation you're talking about does occur, where it's like sometimes if you're just trying to play the game normally and enjoy it for what it is and not worry about trophies, you beat the game and you're like, all right, now I'm going to look at the trophy list. Now I'm going to trophy hunt. And you realize like you basically screwed yourself somehow. I've been feeling that way with Silent Hill 2. Illegal Monkey with a super chat. Thank you, buddy. He says, played Silent Hill 2 last night and got stopped by a game-breaking bug in the labyrinth. Others had the same problem. Now waiting for a blooper fix. Such a buzzkill. Damn, dude. I'm sorry to hear that, Illegal Monkey. That sounds like a nightmare. Thankfully, I haven't encountered that. I did hear some people talking about game-breaking bugs, but this is the first I'm seeing somebody on my channel say that it's impacting them. That sucks, dude. Yeah, hopefully Blooper Team fixes that soon because it's kind of unacceptable, you know? Game's been out for a little bit now. You shouldn't have to just sit around and be like, well, I guess I can't play the game. But Illegal Monkey, I do appreciate the super chat, man. And let me know. Let me know if you find a solution to that. Okay, you're saying, MBG, I was somehow unsubbed from your channel and YouTube won't allow me to get a membership or super chat. What the hell? Are you on the same account? Okay, it looks like you are. Or is this a different account? That's really strange. I see people come to me with that stuff sometimes. They're just like, yeah, somehow I was unsubbed from your channel. No explanation. Angry Well Watcher says reload the app. Dude, listen, I have the same problem on my own stuff. Like when I'm in my own chat for my own stream, sometimes it will show the option to membership gift and super chat, and other times it won't. It's ridiculous, dude. I don't know what is going on with YouTube's backend. You're saying you are on the same account. Man, I don't know. I have no idea what would cause that. But I'm at least glad you're still here, you know? I guess you have to resubscribe. When it comes to why it won't let you get a membership or something like that, I don't know. YouTube stresses me out sometimes, man. But guys, we are going to move on to the second topic here, which talks about, once again, the PS5 Pro, but we have a developer being interviewed and asked about the PS5 Pro. This is being reported by WCCF Tech. It says Empire of Ants, the upcoming Unreal Engine 5 real-time strategy game based on a French sci-fi book, is part of the PS5 Pro launch lineup being scheduled to release on the same day, November 7th. In our freshly published interview with developer Tower 5, game director Renaud Carpenter, I don't know if that's how you say his last name, but that's how I'm going to say it, shared impressions on Sony's upcoming mid-gen refresh console. According to Carpenter, due to how games are made nowadays compared to the previous generation, PS5 games could take better advantage of the PS5 Pro hardware compared to PS4 Pro and PS4. Most titles nowadays also include variable resolution, offering even more scaling potential. Empire of Ants won't support PlayStation Spectral Super Resolution because it came too late in the game's development phase. As for the comparison with PC, Carpenter noted that the two cannot be directly compared since a top-of-the-line PC costs between 3 and 5 times more and also consumes much more energy. So here is the interview. The first question that this developer was asked is, what do you think of the PS5 Pro hardware? What's the single feature you were most impressed with? The developer answered, it is kind of a natural evolution of the PS5 hardware. Same paradigms, but also more processing power on the GPU and ray tracing cores. For us, the gain of about 50% more GPU processing power is the most interesting, of course, as our game is GPU bound, not CPU bound. The second question is, compared to the jump between PS4 Pro and PS4, would you say the PS5 Pro PS5 difference is similar or reduced? Are the advantages less pronounced? The developer answers by saying it seems comparable in terms of evolution philosophy. It is the same generation console, but with better rendering capabilities. Now, it is early and so hard to compare what the PS5 Pro will do for PS5 games to what the PS4 Pro did for PS4 games. But globally, it seems many games will go from 30 to 60 FPS on the Pro version, and that's comparable to what we had on the PS4 Pro. It will probably scale better for an engine version. Most games today do not rely on frame rate to sync/time their simulations, so they are more capable of rendering faster without altering their behaviors. On PlayStation 4, you still had fantastic games like Bloodborne, where the game can't run above 30 because the simulation is linked to the rendering. So if you don't modify the engine and render at 60 FPS, then your game will run twice as fast. All the game, that's a typo, twice as fast. So everything will be twice as fast for the player. Such frame rate bound simulations were still relatively common in the PS4 era, and they made taking advantage of a GPU upscale much harder. So possibly PlayStation 5 games will take better advantage of the PS5 Pro's capacities. The fact that most games nowadays use a form of variable resolution also helps with scaling up the quality with the GPU. The next question is, how much of an improvement is there between the PS5 and the PS5 Pro versions of the game? Also, how does the PS5 Pro version stack up with a maxed out PC game? The developer answers, as said and as presented by Sony, it is expected that most games will double their frame rate on the Pro or improve scene quality if they were already running in 60 FPS on a PS5. Still, maxed out PCs are kind of no limit, so they will, of course, be more powerful, but you can't compare them. A maxed out PC is going to cost easily 3 to 5 times more and consume 3 to 5 times more electrical energy. But what is interesting and says a lot about the flattening silicon evolution curve is that your game on your monster PC is not going to look or play 3 to 5 times better than a PS5 Pro console. There is a huge diminishing return now on high end silicon, and that might have an impact on the life cycle duration of console hardware. So I want to highlight this for a moment here because the developer is touching on something that is becoming very real, not only in the high end PC space, but as he's saying, just the high end silicon space, which does count, high end consoles like the Pro. Um, you know, we're seeing these. You're getting, as he says, you're getting 3 to 5 times more power, but you're not getting 3 to 5 times more back in return. And the returns are diminishing more and more. It doesn't mean that people won't want those returns and be willing to pay for those returns, but it does certainly pose a potential problem for not only the game development side, where game developers have to, they're going to have to begin to ask themselves is, how important is it going to be for us to make sure we keep up, right, with our engines and whatnot. But it's also going to be even more important for the hardware manufacturers to decide, like, how far do we want to go here? I mean, PC components and people upgrading them, that's always going to be a thing. But when it comes to the boxes, right, that's where things get more complicated. But the question here is, and this is the final question, will there be different modes for the PS5 Pro version of Empire of the Ants? And he says no, there is a single 60 FPS mode, so double the frame rate of the base PS5 version. And they did, as it says here, they confirmed they weren't able to take advantage of PSSR yet because it came too late in their development cycle. Because this game is launching the same day as the PS5 Pro. But I just wanted to cover this with you because it's interesting. We haven't, I feel like we haven't heard from developers that much about the PS5 Pro. We've heard a little bit here and there. We obviously heard from Mark Cerny, and we've heard from tech experts and other people like Digital Foundry and whatnot. And it's, everybody's been kind of chiming in, but I think it's always interesting to hear directly from a developer who's made a video game, who is releasing a video game, and who has worked with the hardware. And he did say it's too early to really definitively tell, but basically it sounds like what he was describing is the reason why the PS5 Pro is going to scale better than the PS4 Pro is for the simple fact that most games these days are running at dynamic resolutions. Whereas back with the PS4 generation, most games were not. Most games were just like capped at, it's just a solid 1080p. It's a native resolution. And because of that, the PS4 Pro couldn't bump up the resolution. It was a locked native resolution. The PS4 Pro couldn't do anything unless the developer went in and made direct changes. This is why, for example, when somebody mentioned Returnal earlier, it's going to be really interesting to see what we get with a game like Returnal, because that is a game that runs at a dynamic resolution. And so because of that, it's technically like an unlocked resolution, right? Where it can scale up and down. When Returnal is running on a PS5 Pro, what should happen is that extra raw GPU power and that extra horsepower should just automatically get Returnal to run at a higher resolution more consistently at 60 FPS. And Housemarque shouldn't have to do anything. But we don't know, right? We have to see it in practice. We do not know, like, we don't know if it's going to, like, is it going to bump it up to 4K? Is it going to bump it up to, is it going to be negligible? Is it going to be just such a minor bump that it's like, it's something, but really you're not realistically going to notice that. That's what's going to be interesting to see. So I think, going into the PS5 Pro, knowing it's coming out in like 2 weeks at this point, 14 days, it's going to be interesting to see what this console does for games that are not specifically getting like enhanced. They're not getting the enhanced label. And there are many games that have released this generation that have dynamic resolutions and unlocked frame rates. And it's, again, man, Digital Foundry is going to have their hands full. Waylark with another super chat says Sony's going to launch a prototype every 3 or 4 years to keep up. Well, that's what's going to make the PlayStation 6 so fascinating to watch, Waylark, to see how that rolls out, because I think the biggest challenge Sony's faced with the PlayStation 6 is not too far from the challenge they were faced with the PS5, but it's like even worse now, where the biggest challenge Sony had from the PS4 to the PS5 is, how do you make this console feel next gen? And you have things like the DualSense, you have things like the SSD, you have things like, performance modes and 60 FPS modes. And I think those all were enough, honestly. I know that there are still people who feel like this hasn't felt like a proper, true next gen leap, but the PS5, I would say, is the first console that truly has run into the problem of, now we're finding some of those diminishing returns. And I think the PlayStation 6 is going to really struggle. I mean, this is where Sony has to get really creative, and Mark Cerny and that engineering team, they have their work cut out for them, where it's like they're going to have to really do some things that people are not expecting to be able to differentiate the PlayStation 6 from the PS5 to basically say, like, guys, here's the new gen. Aren't you excited? The last thing Sony wants is people to see the PlayStation 6 and be like, I don't get it. Like, it just seems like a PS5 Pro 2, you know? That would be the worst case. Shadowlink, you're saying MBG, it seems like it will mean whatever the high point for the resolution is, it should run that most of the time with the extra raw power. Yeah, I don't know what the high... I mean, I would assume the high point for these dynamic resolutions would be... Well, yeah, I don't know. That's actually a good point, Shadowlink. What is the... Let me see. Returnal PS5 resolution. So let me see what the high point is for Returnal, if I can find it. So internal resolution is 1080p, but it's upscaled to 1440p. But it's then again checkerboarded to 4K. Oh my God. I didn't realize it was all that. So internal 1080, upscaled 1440, checkerboarded to 4K. I can't find... Huh. So it only upscales to 1440p. Yeah, I don't know. Returnal might be a bit of a... I didn't realize it had basically 2 different layers there. So not only is Returnal being upscaled, but it's also being checkerboarded after that. So I don't know. Yeah, it's not going to change the base internal resolution of 1080p. That's the locked internal resolution. Whatever the dev sets it. If it's 1800, 1250, then whatever's the highest. So 1440p. I guess in this case, yeah, I guess it would be 1440p. Let me see. Venino, you're saying MBG Twitter clowns found your Xbox profile with Eliza P picture. I tried to tag you, but the dude blocked me. Hold on, I'm missing here. They're trying to data mine. Oh, hold on. Why is this glitching out? Hold on. You're saying they're trying to data mine. They say you're a Game Pass sub. I did subscribe to Game Pass. Like I subscribed to Game Pass on my stream, dude, for Hellblade 2. I don't believe I'm still sub to it though. I shouldn't be. I'm going to have a problem if that's the case. But specifically when I used my free month, I went out of my way to make sure like I don't want to get charged for this monthly cuz I don't use Game Pass. But that's funny. I haven't checked my Xbox profile in a long time. I don't know what's on there. I did have my Xbox One X hooked up recently. My son was playing on it. He was one of the games he was playing on there was Star Wars Battlefront 2018, and I was playing with him a little bit. I'm like, man, this game is funner than I remember. But is that what they're doing now though? They're trying to find my profile. I mean, I don't know if it's public or not. I have not checked anything regarding my profile in a long time. The last time I went on my Xbox profile for myself was when I went to go play Hellblade 2. But Battlefront 2018 is baller. It's a great dude. I loved Star Wars Battlefront 1. You know what my favorite mode was in Battlefront 1? It had to have been the hero hunt, dude. Oh my god. Like where it's like one person plays as Darth Vader or Luke and 7 other people have to try to hunt them and like kill them and you're like really powerful. It was amazing. That was so fun. But I guess thanks for letting me know, Venino. Waylark, you're saying with the super chat here, yeah, the more PS raises the bar with the Pro, the expectations for the PS6 are going to be crazy. People are going to expect way too much, I think. Yeah, that's why I really am so curious to know, like, what's the plan, Sony? I mean, what is Xbox's plan too? Like, I feel like Xbox's plan is going to be a little bit more subdued, where it's like they're just going to be like, it's a new console, it's got a lot of tech in it, a lot of cutting edge stuff. Games are going to look great, they're going to run great. Got some machine learning and AI upscaling, and there you go. And I think that they're not. I think Microsoft is not going to. They're not going to try to really sell you on it. They're just going to put it out there as like, here it is, and if you like it, consider buying it. If not, that's cool too. Maybe consider subscribing to Game Pass or playing on PC or something else. You know, I think that's where it's. I don't know what's. I mean, my assumption is that Sony's approach is going to have to be like, no, bro, like we need you to buy the PlayStation 6. And that, yeah, that's going to be a tough sell when it's like you got the PS5 Pro. PS5 Pro's already offering a lot. You got to keep the price in mind. Interesting times ahead, for sure. For sure. Oh, by the way, Venino, I forgot to thank you for your direct donation as well, buddy. You have a very suspicious feeling that Microsoft's going to have an NVIDIA card in the new Xbox. That would be really interesting. It'd be very, very interesting. You think Xbox is going to go all out on the next console? I don't know what they're going to do in terms of like how they're going to price it. I mean, they lowballed it this generation with the Series S, and I don't think that helped them as much as they thought it would. I think there was this kind of hope from Microsoft that if they came in with like a $300 next gen they could label it a next gen console. I think their hope was it would just maybe, completely undercut the PS5, but it didn't. It's not to say that it didn't convince some people. I think it did, but most people, I'm going to say, they were like, nah, I either want the PS5 or the Series. Like the people who really cared, it's like I either want the PS5 or the Series X, and the casual market just didn't seem to respond the way that I think Microsoft was hoping it would. So I wonder how much that's going to influence their pricing of their next gen console. And same with Sony. I mean, Sony is trying to figure that out now where it's like, are people willing to pay for a $700 console? And we have Leo Jimmy. He says, MBG money, PS6 is going to have custom everything on the graphics card. Ray, path tracing, machine learning, etc. Made super easy for the devs even more. That will speed up dev time, more games for us. I could see them doing that. Yeah, I mean, I do wonder if the PS6 could be. I mean, I don't think it could I don't think anything could really match the PS3 and how custom that was. That was like too custom to like a degree that actually hurt them. But we know that Mark Cerny made a bunch of modifications and customizations to the APU of the PS5. I mean, maybe he'll have to take it to another level with the PlayStation 6, like you're saying here, Leo Jimmy. And I think maybe you're right. If Mark Cerny can make that happen, it it could be a game changer for the PlayStation 6 potentially. Same thing with, I mean, I don't know. Well, that's why I'm so interested to see what Microsoft does with the next gen Xbox, because I feel like, yeah, that makes sense. We saw Mark Cerny take that approach with the PS5. Makes sense that he's going to do it again with the PS6, but maybe even more so this time. Microsoft didn't really do too much with the Series X. They didn't really customize it that much. They basically just went with like bigger GPU, more hardware. And I think, it makes sense. Like the logic is there. Like we'll have a bigger GPU and more raw compute power, and devs will take advantage of it. And it's like, I don't think that really happened. But it seems like some of the tweaks and the customizations that Mark Cerny made with the PS5's APU actually did really help. At least at the very least, it helped them punch a little bit above their weight with what, like the teraflops and whatever was showing. So I do wonder if like Microsoft is going to take a cue from Sony this time around as well, and maybe customize the next Xbox a little bit more this time around. That could be big for I mean, it could be big for Xbox if they can make that happen, but it's not necessarily easy, All right. The tools didn't work. Yeah, I don't know what that was about with the tool situation that people kept talking about. I don't even know what they were talking about, to be honest. Like I just didn't. I'm like, what are the tools though? I don't get it. Like literally, what are they? What are you referencing? All right. Oops. Wrong screen. The games that take advantage of the Xbox Series X perform better than PS5, like Alan Wake 2 and Space Marine 2. And that makes sense. I mean, there are instances where the Series X is doing what it is supposed to do. You know what I mean? Where it's like, yeah, you are the more powerful console on paper. Like you have more raw compute power, more GPU power. But it's it's like you're saying, like these games, the devs have to go out of their way to leverage it and to utilize it. And I mean, maybe things would be completely different when we talk about the PS5 and the Series X. Where like, if the Series X sold really well, or even sold better than the PS5, maybe devs would be truly going above and beyond. They would feel incentivized. I don't know. We really can't know. It's the developer tools making it easier to program games for a system. Okay. One SKU to rule them all. Yeah, one SKU. Why aren't the first party taking advantage of the tech? I don't know. I mean, it could be the fact that most. Well, I don't know. We kind of talked about this, like when we talk about the idea of Sony going day and date with all of their games, including all of their single player studios and all of their single player games. We talked about the idea that it might not be that simple. Like you're talking about developers who are conditioned and also used to making a game for one console unit, maybe two at most if we're talking about the PS5 Pro as well, and just focusing on that and squeezing as much out of that one hardware, that one SKU, right? Or the two SKUs with the PS5 or the PS5 Pro, getting as much out of it as they can, squeezing out every last drop, coating to the metal, as they used to say. Um, and if you're developing a game simultaneously to be properly optimized for a PC launch for Steam or Epic Game Store, that's going to take more time. I mean, game development, generally speaking, does occur in the PC environment, but I think I think it's been proven there's a difference between. It's all a matter of priority, right? Like developers, they they tend to prioritize the optimization of the consoles first because it is just one spec. We just got to optimize it, polish it, make sure it's good, make sure everything's good to go, and then we do it for the next spec, which is the second console. But then when when it's time to polish and optimize for the PC, then you have a whole list of like, okay, we got to consider how low we can go, how many low end configurations are going to be, mid range, high end, ultra, you know. Games are built on PCs though, which is funny. It is funny. Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and claim to know exactly how it works. I'm not a game dev, but one thing I know has occurred quite frequently are just like disastrous PC launches, and they usually end up getting fixed over time, but you do got to wonder like what's going on there. And my assumption, again, I say this from a place of ignorance, as like where I don't actually know, it's just an assumption. My assumption is that just because you're developing, the game generally speaking in a PC environment doesn't necessarily mean it's optimized for all of the different potential PC builds out there. Because another thing that they mentioned as well is that like when these games are being developed in the PC environment, they're on very beefy PCs, very capable PCs. So I don't know. It's complex. I do know that. They would need like 5 Nixus studios. Yeah, that's what I mean. Sony does run the risk where if they do ever want to go day and date with, games on like PlayStation games on PC, like all their single player games. I mean, some of these studios are going to have to do it themselves, and they do run the risk of having like a disastrous PC launch where it's like, yeah, we don't really know what we're doing here. Alvin, a member for 6 months. Thank you for that support, buddy. Saying DLSS made big jumps from 1 and 2 and 2 to 3 on the same hardware. Could the Pro get another big performance jump in 2 years with PSSR 2? A revision? I think yes. Yeah. I think that's what's most exciting about PSSR is we might not necessarily have to wait for a new generation, right? We might not have to wait for the PlayStation 6 to see a major performance increase. And that also calls into question, like, again, how important does the hardware? I mean, the hardware will always be important to a degree, but maybe less so as we go forward, because I did speculate that we could see like PSSR 2.0, like you're saying, a revision of it, a second version of it, that could drop in like 2026. And then maybe, I almost said DLSS, PSSR 3.0 could be ready maybe in time for the launch of the PlayStation 6. Okay, you're saying PSSR 2.0 will absolutely be exclusive to the PlayStation 6? I mean, I guess it depends on how frequently they want to iterate on it, you know? Because you have to imagine if they don't rush out like another version anytime soon, then they're going to put even more into what will be version 2.0. And Silent Spartan comes in, dropping a 20 bomb on you guys out of nowhere. It's funny because Silent Spartan's picture, I'm assuming it's of you skydiving. He just skydives right in. He's dropping 20 member gifts for you guys. He wrecks the goal. He does it. Absolutely amazing. Silent Spartan, shout out to you, my friend. Thank you so much for the generosity, for dropping 20 membership gifts for the community. And not only that, but Silent Spartan secured 2 things. He secured another 5 drop from me as a thank you for the support, guys. So I'm going to drop 5 more memberships as well for the community. And on top of that, Silent Spartan got us over the 50 member goal. So tomorrow, we're going to do another episode of Morning with the Misses. You did it. And that's going to happen at 10 a.m. Eastern. Awesome stuff, man. Awesome stuff. Very generous community we have here. I appreciate everything you guys do for the channel. So I think that actually brings us to 50, not counting the gifts that I put out there. That should bring us to 57. Wait, no, hold on. Something's not quite right there. All right, yeah, my bad. We're actually at 51. I'm trying not to count the gifts that I'm dropping. I don't know. Should I count the gifts that I'm dropping? I feel like it's best not to. All right, let me update this so you guys can see where we're at. All right. There we go. So you did it. We set the goal to 50. You did it. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much. Love this community. Good stuff, Silent Spartan. You're saying no, don't count them. You'll be poor in due time. All right. Duly noted, Silent Spartan. When will we get solo nights with Boss? I don't know. Boss is sleeping in the sunshine right now, though. He's soaking up some sun. You're going to send the link to your wife so she can watch as well. That's awesome. Yeah, that's cool, Ray. I permit that. PSSR will be updated and iterated on very frequently as they have a lot of room for improvement simply due to it being new technology. We've already seen where it can improve in certain scenarios. All right, sorry about that, guys. I'm gonna put up a Q&A for I'll put it up in a community post for all the members when the stream's finished for tomorrow. That's what Mrs. MBG was suggesting I do. Can't promise I'll answer every one of the questions, but it should help with kind of the flow of it. Oh my god, I can't believe YouTube Studio crashed again. What are they doing, man? What are they doing? YouTube Studio just crashes every hour on the hour. It's ridiculous. I don't know why. Yeah, we're good now. We're good. DLSS versions are exclusive to certain models of GPUs. PS will use that as a selling point for PS6. I mean, it does make sense to do that. I don't know. Maybe they'll keep it like really simple, where it'll be like in 2026. Here's PSSR 1.5, where there are some improvements and developers can already start taking advantage of those improvements, and we're going to see them on the Pro. But then, like, the big one, like the next leap, if you will, for PSSR won't occur till PSSR 2.0, and that's what will be locked behind the PlayStation 6. Yeah, like PSSR 1.1, 1.2. Yeah, they could keep it like, hey, whoa, hey, stop fighting. Luna's just trying to love you, boss. Boss is getting so mad over there. Luna's just like inching closer and closer to him. And he's like getting all mad and upset, thinking she wants to attack him and fight him. I got to make sure they don't destroy each other over there. Damn cats, I swear. They're making progress slowly but surely. It's taking time. It's taking time, but they're making progress. Go check. Yeah, I'm excited to see where PSSR goes, because for as exciting as the hardware itself is with the PlayStation 5 Pro, and I do think it's exciting. I mean, I know not everybody's excited for it, but I like what they're doing. You know, I think again, in one of my recent videos, I see somebody. You always get the same comments where it's like it's a scam, or I'm not. I saw somebody leave a comment. It wasn't a bad comment, but they were just like, I'm not getting the PS5 Pro. It just doesn't seem worth it. Like, I'm good. I'm just sticking with my base PS5. And, you know, comments like that, there's always some kind of like clashing going on underneath. But I commented back and I replied, I'm like, yeah, dude, you're still winning. Like, if you don't upgrade to the PS5 Pro, but you stick with the base PS5, in my opinion, you're still winning. Like, you're still going to get great games throughout the rest of the generation. And they're going to probably look amazing, and they're probably going to perform just fine. So I think that's kind of the way this has been angled in some ways for some people, where it's like they're looking at it as a win or lose situation, where it's like if you don't have a Pro, you're a loser, or if you do get a Pro, you're getting scammed or whatever. And I just think it's like, I don't think either of those things are true. I just think it's like, as far as I'm concerned, like if you're on a base PS5 and that's what you stick with until the PS6, you're still winning. If you have a Pro, I think, and you know, you have a Pro and it's something you can afford and it's something that you're going to be happy with and you're looking forward to, I think you're winning too. I mean, who's the real loser here? I mean, there's people out there like, yo, if you're playing on PlayStation, that makes you the loser. You are the loser. I don't agree with that, but you know, that's how some people think. Pushing Polygons, you're saying, yeah, MBG, it's pretty much what I told my mother because she was considering getting one for my baby brother. It just depends on how enthusiastic you are about the prospect of having a PS5 that can run and play games, even in some cases, if it's just slightly better. In some cases, it might be more than slightly, it might be significantly better. But Okay, you're saying hoping these YouTube issues can be resolved. I don't want to miss too many members lounges. Do you think okay, do you pay for your membership each month, or is the membership that you've had like for the last month, for example, was that a gifted membership? Because I know you gift a couple memberships. I'm just because I don't know. That's just really strange to me. The idea that your membership is just gone. The only thing I could think, the only reason I could think that would happen is if it was a gifted membership. You're hoping Naughty Dog's new game is something like Cyberpunk 2077 open world. I'm starting to think that Naughty Dog's new game is going to be a open world action RPG. Seriously, like that's honestly what I'm starting to think. Now Luna and Lair are fighting. Oh my god. Although they look like they're playing more gently. I wish you guys could see this. I would I would try to turn the camera and show you, but I'm not touching my camera after what happened this morning. No way. Ray, you're saying Xbox should be trying to be nice to PlayStation players to buy an Xbox and bring the numbers up. Well, console sales data I think is going to have a huge determining factor or huge impact, I should say, on Sony's approach to the next generation. I absolutely believe it. This is why I'm so fascinated by the 45% drop in PS5 sales. I know people are like, why do you care about sales? Why do you care about sales? I care about them because they're going to have a profound impact on the approach that these companies take for their next gen consoles. Sony's not an exception to that, you know. Ahoy Tyler is saying, I bet they're excited to just work on something completely different than The Last of Us. Oh yeah, yeah, for sure. They've been working on the Last of Us series for like the past decade. Probably gets super depressing. Yeah, you're probably right. Naughty Dog is making Bloodborne 2. Oh man, could you imagine that, dude? Could you imagine Naughty Dog goes up to Sony and they're like, "Can we make the next Bloodborne?" Like, if you're Sony, do you tell Naughty Dog no? Do you tell them? You're like, no. That would be the funniest thing ever, dude. That would be so funny to witness. Naughty Dog announcing Bloodborne 2. Some PS4 users are not jumping to PS5 and Sony's not happy. Well, let's keep in mind, I think Sony did anticipate this because if you look at if you listened in on Sony's last, like, it wasn't even their last earnings, but their like yearly business report or whatever. They straight up said, like, I think it was their yearly earnings report actually. And they were talking to investors. They straight up said, like, we expect PS5 sales to start slowing down more and more going forward. So they did anticipate this. And I think the biggest reason they anticipated this is because they knew, like, we're not going to be able to drop the price. I think there's a lot of PS4 players who are like, yeah, when the console drops to 350, I'll buy it. And well, I guess to be fair, technically you can buy a refurbished PS5 now. And maybe this is a sign that Sony's trying to find other ways to get a lower PS5 price point out there. If you go to PlayStation Direct, you can buy a refurbished PS5 for 350. It's refurbished, it's not brand new, but it's a $350 PS5. Assuming it's, actually in good working condition. Carlos, you're saying that's why Microsoft is offering Xbox games and Call of Duty on Fire Sticks and stuff like that. It's going to be the future for casual gamers. Yeah, I mean, there's no denying that right now, not just Microsoft, but Sony as well, and to an extent, maybe Nintendo, but maybe not so much. Nintendo might be very late. They're always like way behind on stuff, but people like that. Um, which is ironic because Nintendo also seems to appeal to the younger generations more so in a way. But I think that's IP driven, not necessarily uh, ecosystem driven. But I think you're right. I think that both Sony and Microsoft are paying very close attention to the new generation of gamers, right? And the younger generations, and realizing that, 15 to 20 years from now, like those are going to be our customers. And they're going to be adults, and those are going to be the people we're trying to squeeze the most money out of. So maybe we should really start to think about them. And, this is what was going on when we were growing up gaming, right? Like they were thinking about, you know, what do the kids want? What do the 10, 12 year olds want that are playing right now? What are they gonna want? What are they used to? What do they expect? But that's just the way it goes, I guess. It's going to be a fun thing, and maybe a disturbing thing in some cases, to see, like, how the industry evolves over the next like decade. It's a long time, and it'll go slow, but I will say, man, 2024 has been a year where a lot of rapid change, a lot of very rapid change. And if change can occur this quickly in just a matter of, I mean, think about it. Think about this generation. There's been so much change this generation so far. If that type of change can happen that rapidly in just a matter of 4 years, I mean, what's the next 4 years going to look like? If you're a tech savvy person, you can buy a broken PS5 and buy it for less. Yeah, I guess if you really wanted to. Josh, you're saying I see it panning out like that, as I did make a jump from base PS4 to PS5, now PS5 Pro bound when I trade up. GoldenEye says I won't be getting a PlayStation 6 because games seem to be getting worse for Sony. Don't want cross-gen PS5 games for the system. Yeah, I mean, I totally get that. You're like the second person I've seen this week basically saying, like, I'm either not getting a PS6 or I'm going to be holding off on a PS6 because of cross-gen. And this is where, like, dude, I don't want to rush into next generation. Like, I know it's like, why are we talking about the PS6? The PS5 Pro isn't even out. It feels like this generation isn't even, we're only 4 years into it. I get it, but it's because I'm so eager to learn. Like, Sony, what direction are you planning on going here? Like, are you going with exclusives? Are you going, day and date on PC with everything? Are you expanding even further? Because they have to make a decision. And something tells me that decision has probably already been made. Maybe it hasn't. Maybe they're still in the process, but I think that decision has already been made. But they're not going to be rolling out anything until like 2027 and whatever, when they start ramping up for next gen. But I'm just so curious, where it's like, yeah, this is a problem that they're going to face, where it's like, listen, if you think you had a hard time getting people moving from PS4 to PS5, you're going to have an even harder time moving people from PS5 to PS6. So what is your plan? What's the game plan? Is it further expansion, horizontal growth, or is it get back to the basics that PlayStation's always kind of been known for, where it's like new generation brings a new generation of exclusives, and by exclusives we mean actually exclusive, and we're going to strong arm you to get a PS6. Some people wouldn't like that. A lot of people would probably be upset about that. But truthfully, that might be the only real option, where it's like, if you want people to, you know, to upgrade, that might be the only thing you got left to convince them. And okay, there we go, bro. Okay, re-ups his membership, comes back to greatness awaits. Thank you so much for that, okay. I'm glad to see it's working for you. I've seen that's like the third time that's happened, where somebody was saying they're trying to do something on the channel, whether it be like re-up their membership or gift or super chat, and they're having problems, and an hour or two later or 30 minutes later they figured it out. So thank you for that. Okay, I appreciate the support, bud. Ray, you're saying my wife was going to buy a Series S to play Starfield and she looked into it. I told her I would not marry her if she did. Damn, Ray. That's true dedication to Sony. You buy an Xbox, the marriage is off. Extreme, bro. You're saying you're joking. Well, I know. I guess we do have to clarify that. You know, we live in a day and age in the internet where people are going to read that and take it seriously. Listen, man, I'm interested in Xbox next generation for sure. I'm going to be much more interested in Xbox and their rollout of the next console for two reasons. Number one, timing. If it's true, and I think it is, that Xbox is coming out swinging in like 2026, that might catch Sony a little bit off guard. And I'm going to be so interested. Like, okay, Microsoft, like, you're coming out early. The last time you did that was with the 360. You have my attention. What's the launch lineup? Are you going to have a launch lineup this time? That was one of the biggest things missing for the Series X. Unfortunately, they just didn't have a launch lineup. They weren't. I think Halo was supposed to be ready, but it was delayed, and that was it. Like, they didn't have anything. Are they going to have one console? Are they going to have two again? I mean, I'm interested. I'm not even going to. Honestly, I'll be real with you guys. Like, I've even considered, like, bro, by the time the next gen Xbox comes out and as we get closer to PS6, I might just start covering both. Seriously. Like, especially if more Xbox games come to PS5. Like, again, dude, Microsoft reached out to me this year for Grounded. This is how much these things are starting to blend together, where Microsoft reached out to me, a PlayStation channel, to, you know, to play Grounded on PS5. I didn't really enjoy it, but this is where I'm just like, you know, I'm getting to a point where, like, I don't want to see the console market. I mean, it doesn't matter what I want to see. What's going to happen is going to happen. I want to see the console market remain healthy. And right now, Xbox is suffering the most. Nintendo seems like they're going to, you know, they're going to do fine because they're going to have a whole new generation. But I don't know what the future of the PlayStation console looks like health-wise. I'm assuming it'll be healthy. But I just think that I'm going to start doubling and tripling down on console gaming. And I'm not going to neglect PC either Like, I'm not. See, when I completely disconnect from these weird arguments that constantly occur online, I realize that I'm not against any of this, dude. Like, I'm not against PC gaming. I'm not against the Switch. I'm not even against Xbox at this point, because I just realized that things are changing, broadly speaking. It's not like everything's happening at once, but things are changing. Saying as a content creator, it wouldn't it make sense to invest in a high-end PC, a 5090, for your business, and also to game Xbox titles and other new releases? Well, this is what I mean. You know, like, I don't think I will be able to ever get away from PlayStation being like my go-to. I talked about this a little bit earlier, right? Where it's like, literally one of the reasons why I don't game on PC, why I'm not interested in Steam really, and other than the fact that I'm not accustomed to it. I don't know how to, I would have to learn the ropes of gaming on PC and like setting things up and all that. But really, it's because it's like, well, I mean, I have a PSN profile that I've dedicated all my time to. And while I have all these physical games I buy, and I have trophies and I want to unlock trophies, and I'm invested into the PlayStation ecosystem to a degree that it's not that I would avoid playing other places if there's games I want to play, but I'm willing to wait. You know what I'm saying? Where it's like, if there's like Stalker 2 is the best. I talked about it earlier, but I'll bring it up again, where it's like Stalker 2, if Microsoft came out and was like, this game's never going to PlayStation, it's only going to be Xbox and PC, then I would have to accept, okay, at some point, I'm either going to boot this game up on my PC then, or I'm going to buy an Xbox and play it, because I do want to play it. It does look good. It looks really good, actually. But because it's been determined already that it is a timed exclusive, that means at some point it is going to come to PS5, then my approach to it is, well, okay, I have other games I want to play at this moment. So if it's going to come like 6 months later, 3 months later, whatever, or even a year later, like, I'll wait it out. And that's fine, because I'd rather wait, get a physical copy for PS5, chase those trophies, and just play it on my preferred platform/ecosystem. However, there is this innate desire, and like you're saying, it would ultimately, I think, benefit my channel. I think like even the most, there may be like some radically hardcore PlayStation fans that if I was like, yeah, I bought an Xbox, they might be like, I'm not following you anymore. That's kind of weird. Like, I would like to think nobody would be like that. Just like I freaking played Hellblade 2 on my PC on Game Pass this year, and people were not like, "Bruh," nobody left. I don't think anybody left. I hope nobody left. I guess I can't really determine if they did, but it's not, as time goes on and as it becomes clear that more and more things are changing, and one of those changes is all these companies are kind of gearing up. Nintendo's going to come out with the Switch 2 sooner than later, right? It's right around the corner. The PS6 is coming. I mean, it's a couple years away, but it's going to be here sooner than we think. And the next gen Xbox might be here way sooner than we think. I can't help but get excited at these prospects, And I have a very capable gaming PC. It's not a 5090, but it's very capable, and that's also a matter of time, Like, I don't like to just, I don't want to start just doing things because it's like, this is content. I don't want to do that either, because that's where I'm getting, if I start to do things where it's like, I just want to do this to make content, I feel like I'm losing a bit of, it's a little bit disingenuous, where it's like, it's an excuse, you know what I mean? Like, the interest isn't fully authentic. There's like a 10% or 15% piece of the pie here, where it's like, well, this is only because, I want to make content. It's got to be it's got to come from a very organic place, first and foremost. And Waylark with the super chat says Steam has big picture mode, basically turns into a console mode. I heard about that. How easy is it to use that? I'll have to maybe watch a video on it. I'm sure there's probably plenty of videos made on it. I heard it's not necessarily as simplistic. Like, it can be a little bit more cumbersome, but I don't even know that I would need to do that. You know what I mean? Like, I think I would be okay if I'm gaming on PC, like if I'm actively choosing to play this game on PC, I am okay playing that at a desk, It might not be what I do a lot, but if it's, again, it's not that big of a deal to me. But I mean, honestly, playing it at the desk makes way more sense than the idea of I'm going to put my PC in the living room. I don't think that would ever happen. It's easy. Yeah, I might look into it. That's pretty. I've heard of it. I never actually saw it in practice, or in action. But I don't know. Maybe it's just I'm in a good mood again. I don't know. But I'm feeling good about video games. I am. I know that I don't play everything, certainly not, and I have my own tastes and my own, the things that speak to me, just like anybody else. But right now, obviously, I still am just fully entrenched in PlayStation. But I think one of the things I'm also really waiting for, though, this entire year, like when the Switch 2 comes out, I already know, like, okay, I'm going to get a Switch 2. And one of the reasons for that, well, there's two reasons. Number one, the exclusives. Like, there's no question about it. If you want to play Nintendo games, you're going to need to buy their hardware. Period. End of discussion. No ifs, ands, or buts. No in betweens. You buy their hardware for their games if you want to play them. It's that simple. So there's that, which makes it super easy where it's like, I don't even have to think about it, right? Because that's just how it is. It's permanent. Number two, though, is the handheld factor, and the fact that we're talking about the law of not the law of diminishing returns, but seeing that in practice, seeing the diminishing returns, predicting the diminishing returns with the next gen Xbox and the PlayStation 6 and higher end PC hardware that's getting more and more expensive. Meanwhile, you have Nintendo out here and they're just like, so how about this like handheld console that's also a home console that's basically like between a PS4 Pro and a Series S? And I'm just like really interested to see, like, that's the wild card, man. That's the wild card. But I guess what I'm trying to say is Nintendo makes it very easy for me to decide, listen, you buying a Switch 2 or not? And it's like, yeah, I am. I'm going to buy a Switch 2. I don't know that I'm going to play every game on it. I'm certainly not going to play every Nintendo game. But I'm going to re-enter the Nintendo ecosystem for the first time in God knows how long. I might hate it. I don't know. At the very least, I know Mrs. MBG is excited for it. So if I hate it and I'm like, you know what, guys, I just can't do Nintendo. I'm sorry. Mrs. MBG will. She's always had a fondness for Nintendo. Okay, you're saying newer PS games on PC have trophies linked to PSN. I did see that, yeah. I don't know, man. I don't know. There's just something about it that I can't, like, I don't think the day's ever going to come. And, people call me a fanboy, obviously, but maybe, I don't know, maybe it is fanboyism. I don't know what it is. It might just, I don't think the day's ever going to come where I'm going to actively choose PC over console. I'm not going to say never, like never say never. Anything's possible, but I'll be honest, man. I think it's just to a point where it's like, it's because it's what I grew up with. And I think that's just too strong. Even if it doesn't make complete sense. Like, I understand. It's like, but bro, you can do all this on PC and like, and I get it. But it's just console's what I know and it's what I love. And it's genuine. That there's not, that's it. Like, that's as far as it goes. That's why I've gotten to a point, and I've been at this point for a while, where it's like, dude, there's no reason to argue anymore with anybody about this. There just isn't. This is as far as it goes. You encounter somebody on the internet and they're like, what do you play on? It's like, I play on Xbox. Oh, I play on PlayStation. Why do you play on Xbox? And then maybe that person who plays on PlayStation, they give a whole list of reasons that make sense. They're not asinine reasons. Like, they actually make sense. Like, here's why you shouldn't play on Xbox. Here's why it doesn't make sense to play on Xbox. But then that person is just like, yeah, but I just like playing on Xbox. Then guess what? The person who just said, it's just because I like playing on Xbox, they just literally eviscerated every argument that person made, because that's all that matters to that person. And that's all that needs to matter to that person. In other words, that person, the only justification they need to buy an Xbox, to boot up an Xbox, and the same goes for PlayStation or any other piece of hardware, is I like it. Why do you like it? I like it because I like it. There doesn't necessarily have to be a rhyme or a reason. Now, because I sit here and I talk to you guys extensively and deeply about games, I think deeply about it and I analyze it and I question, why do I like the console experience so much? And the closest answer I can get is, it's because it's just what I grew up with. Like, to me, console gaming is gaming. I have gamed on PC in the past a little bit, um, not a lot. Even when I was like really young on like Windows 95, playing some games on there. But I always gravitated towards a console, and I just grew up with it. And as a teenager, just gaming on console. As a young adult, gaming on console. Now, still gaming on a console. And I think that's why it's so easy for me to be excited about the PS5 Pro, because it's like there's more to it for me. Like it's not just a $700. Like I get it. I value my money as well. Like I know the value of a dollar, and it's not about blowing money or wasting money, but it's just the PS5 Pro, just in and of itself, knowing that, hey man, you buy this console for the next 3 to 4 years, you're going to get possibly hundreds of games. You're not even going to play hundreds of games, but hundreds of games are going to look and run better, maybe slightly, maybe more significantly. And yeah, there is the option of PC. You can go to PC where everything can look and run better if you get the best components, right? But I don't know. It's just something about that package that just appeals to me. I don't know how to explain it. And I just wish that people could, and I'm hopeful that if I maintain this attitude, maybe more and more people will adopt this attitude or grow into it as well, where it's like, I wish more people would just be able to adopt the attitude of like, you know what, man, just let people enjoy what they want to enjoy. There doesn't have to be a rhyme or a reason. They don't need to justify anything. If somebody wants to buy a 5090 and wait for their PlayStation games, and they think that that's going to be the best way to experience Sony's games, then so be it. If somebody wants to buy 2 PS5 Pros for some reason, one for the upstairs, one for the downstairs, then so be it. Enjoy yourself. Enjoy gaming. If somebody wants to buy a Series S and a Series X, and subscribe to Game Pass, then so be it. I just think that I've spent too much time listening to people, not even listening, but just reading stuff on the internet, just reading what people have to say on the internet, and not enough time just really getting down to the bare bones of it. And like, bro, why are we even here? We're here to enjoy video games. And I always get pulled away from that at times, and it happens. But at the end of the day, man, like, the truth is that a lot of people do like to spend too much time arguing about gaming rather than just enjoying gaming. And I'm not even saying I'm innocent. I've done that too. It happens. When you're passionate, you're passionate. When you love talking about it, you love talking about it. But at some point, when it becomes a bit too much, you got to know when to just kind of take a step back and like, Esther, like, do you even enjoy gaming? Do you even enjoy the video games industry? We'll be shit talking Xbox tomorrow. I don't know, man. I don't know that, to be honest, I don't know that there's much left to say shit talk wise to Xbox. Just something that's become abundantly clear to me. And I know that there are like a lot of PlayStation fans that maybe wholeheartedly disagree with this. I'm not trying to say Sony and PlayStation are the same, but because that's a opening again. That's the whole can of worms. It's like, well, here we go comparing again. I'm not trying to compare anything, but what I will say, and I think that this should be obvious to literally anybody paying any attention to the games industry, is that, dude, both Sony and Microsoft are in a process of figuring out what the fuck is our future in this industry. I think from a base level for PlayStation, the answer is, well, we're a dominant force in the industry. We've been here for a long time. Like, we're not going anywhere, and we're making the most money. We're making, if not the most money, like, we're in the top 3 or whatever. So we're good. But it's not that simple. It's like, no, really though, like, what is PlayStation 20 years from now? Because the last 20 years, the last 30 years, console ecosystem, and it's worked. But things are changing. Times are changing. And they're changing rapidly. And that's where, Microsoft, they're doing the same thing in the sense that Microsoft, for the last 5 years, for the last 7 years, because things have fallen so far for them, they had to seriously ask, like, okay, what is Xbox in the next 20 years? And Microsoft determined Xbox in the next 20 years is publisher first. That's how, it has to be that way, because that's how we can justify buying these publishers, Game Pass second, and maybe console third. And that's fine. Like, if that's what works for them. Waylark, you're saying recently checked my Steam account value. 10K. 10K, bro. No, we didn't talk about PlayStation Stars yet. That's actually the last topic of discussion. This is basically just a side quest, I guess, a side topic that I kind of started talking about. Hold on one sec, guys. Anyway, yeah, I right now I am not everything's perfect in the gaming industry, obviously. Nothing's perfect, but I'm feeling overall better than I expected. Like, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good about the amount of gaming I'm going to get in, closing out the year. I'm feeling good about next year, and I'm feeling good about, things that are further out. 2026, 2027, next gen. I'm excited. I am. But I did want to say one other thing before I move on to the final topic, which is talking about PlayStation Stars. And that is that one of the things I've been really waiting for, and I think a lot of people have been waiting for this, is to get further clarification from Microsoft what their approach is going to be with their games coming to PlayStation beyond 2024. Right? You guys already know the rumors have been all over the place this year. And it's unfortunate because, the more rumors there are, the crazier the conversation gets. I mean, it can be good in a sense for content creation, but the drum man, you're saying, hi, MBG, I still didn't get gifted. I'm feeling very down. I'm sorry, man. I mean, I dropped some gifts. Sound Spartan dropped a 20 bomb. We'll see. I mean, we still got a little bit left to go before we wrap up the stream. There's still some time for more membership gifts to drop. Hang in there, drum man. Hopefully we'll get you on. But yeah, the reason why I'm waiting for further clarification from Microsoft is because truthfully, like, if they are going to do what people have speculated they're going to do, myself included, which is by the time the next generation Xbox comes out, it's not really going to matter because they made it clear, like, pretty much all of our games are going to PlayStation. And some of them, and many of them, the Switch as well. I mean, literally at that point, no joke, as somebody who is invested in the PlayStation ecosystem, there is no reason, even if I'm just a straight up hardware enthusiast, that would be the only reason to buy an Xbox, where it's like, I am a hardware enthusiast and I want to collect the hardware because I like collecting the hardware. Outside of that, like, Microsoft at that point is straight up incentivizing me to stay where I am. And I'm not opposed to that. It's like, yo, Microsoft, you do have games in the pipeline that I am looking forward to and I am excited for. And I like, listen, if Microsoft changes their mind and they're like, you know what, never mind. Here's a next gen Xbox. We're not bringing these games ever. Like, they're Xbox and PC. I'm either going to boot up my PC and play some of them, or I'm going to buy a next gen Xbox and play them. But right now we're still in that kind of weird limbo where it's like, I don't know what, like, does anybody truly know, like, what Microsoft is planning on doing? Because the last announcement we got from Microsoft regarding PlayStation was Indiana Jones. So it's like, I literally feel like Larry David, in the meme where he's like, yeah, I don't know. So I suspect we're going to learn more next year, and maybe next year we'll have a much clearer picture. But generally speaking, I'm feeling pretty good about gaming. There's still some concern as we talk about the political side of it, and some of the decision making at these companies. That will continue to be a part of the conversation, but right now, I guess I don't know, I'm in glass half full mode. So But let's move on to the final topic. Guys, before we do, I want to ask you to please hit that like button. We're sitting at 149 likes. And Steven Leon comes in just as we're about to move to the final topic. Steven Leon comes in and flexes and drops another 10 membership gifts onto the community. So we are blowing past. Bro, Oliver Opfer was gifted a membership. Oliver, are you here? Oliver comes in and drops like mega donations on random occasions. I just saw his name pop up. He got a membership gift. But unfortunately, Drum Man still didn't get one. Damn, pour one out for Drum Man. I don't know if it's gonna happen today, Drum Man. I'm sorry. But Steven, bro, thank you so much for the 10 memberships. Yeah, guys, listen. Like I said, I've been dropping memberships as well. We're sitting at 62 members now. If we hit 75, I'll drop another 5 memberships myself, okay? So you think about that as we I'm going to update this morning with the misses. Oh, I forgot to actually put the goal at 75. So yeah, we hit 75. I'll drop another 5 memberships for you guys. What did I say? We were at 62. And there we go. So yeah, big day for membership gifting. Appreciate the support. We'll keep it going as long as we can. Make sure I didn't miss anything here. No, we're good. All right. MBG could have been gifting you guys, but didn't even know. Yeah, dude, I'm not even kidding. Like, that was never an option. I can't guarantee that I can do it literally every stream, but I'll try my best. I always thought that was weird. I'm like, I guess I can't gift on my channel. I remember doing it like a couple times before, but I had to do like a bunch of workarounds. And I'm like, am I even allowed to do this? I don't know what's going on. But I don't know. YouTube updated something to where now everything's available to me, which is nice. So I feel like it should have been that way the whole time. All right. The final topic we have today talks about PlayStation Stars. Some changes are being made to PlayStation Stars, and it seems like fans are a little bit perturbed. So this is being reported by VGC, and it says PlayStation Stars will no longer give players credit for money spent on subscriptions following an update. The program, which gives players points based on how much, it says MUND, but money they spent on the PlayStation Store, as well as the completion of in-app quests, allows them to trade those points for PSN credit, among other items. Continues by saying, until now, money spent on subscriptions, such as PS Plus and EA Play, would contribute to users' PlayStation Stars levels. That is no longer the case. PlayStation Stars points will now also expire just over a year from the date they were acquired, rather than 2 years. An email sent to PlayStation Stars users reads, "What has changed? Effective October 24th, 2024. New points earned will expire at the end of the month, plus 12 months from the date on which they appear in your PlayStation Stars account balance. Points earned prior to October 24th, 2024 will continue to expire at the end of the month, plus 24 months from the date on which they appear in your PlayStation Stars account balance. Effective beginning March 1st, 2025. The definition of eligible purchases, in quotes, will be updated to exclude all subscription payments made on PlayStation Store, including any initial or renewal subscription payments for PlayStation Plus or any other subscription service, which means that points will no longer be earned on subscription payments." PlayStation Stars launched in late 2022 via the PlayStation app. At the time, Sony said it planned to expand the service to consoles at a later date. So I felt like I had to cover this because, to be honest, I saw quite a few people expressing their dismay or displeasure or frustration, whatever it might be, about Sony's decision. Now, here's where it's a little weird for me because, like, I don't use PlayStation Stars. I don't know why. It's just never appealed to me. I know a lot of people do. And so I feel for them in the sense that, like, yeah, this sucks. Like, I don't want to overblow it, but it does seem like Sony is maybe they're becoming a bit more stingy, right, with this rewards program. And obviously, it just sucks to see because it's like, well, damn, like it just. I was reading the subreddit earlier, the PS5 subreddit, and people were conversing in there, and they have some pretty good conversations in there that I like to kind of look in on. And, a couple people were basically just saying like they've been feeling like PlayStation Stars is just kind of getting worse over time. And Sony just keeps kind of taking more things away and altering the deal, so to speak. And yeah, that's clearly what's going on here. Again, it's difficult for me to kind of relate to that frustration just because I don't even use PS Stars. But I could imagine if I did, it's like, yeah, it's just one less thing, man. Like you're gonna give us money for this subscription, and we're not gonna give you any reward points for it. We did before, but now we're not going to. So it's like, yeah. I do gotta ask you guys, Devil, you're saying the result of no competition. I don't know though. Doesn't Microsoft have a reward program that's actually pretty good? Wouldn't that technically be considered competition in this area? I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Jeff Hish, you're saying PlayStation Stars isn't a bad deal. I just bought Until Dawn for PS5 with my points. That is pretty good, dude. I'm assuming the PS5 version. Ray, you're saying I got Spider-Man 2 for free because of PS Stars. Oh man, maybe I might be screwing up here. I didn't really? Man, I went into this being like, see, this is why I didn't sign up for PlayStation Stars. It doesn't seem worth it. Then you guys are coming and being like, bro, here are all the free games I got. You have to get them digitally though, right? Like, see, that to me is kind of a deal breaker. I don't know, like free digital game, sure, but I'm gonna still want to collect the physical copy. So it's like I don't even know at that point what so I got a question for you guys for PlayStation Stars. When you redeem a game or you redeem your points for a game, it's obviously a digital version. Do they give you a code for the game, or is it just like automatically unlocked on your account and you download it? Like, is it automatically tethered to your account? Store credit code. Okay. So are you saying you could technically give that code to other people, I guess maybe, if you wanted, and they could use it on their account? Or do they okay. They automatically add the funds to your wallet. Gotcha. All right. Wait, I don't know. I'm getting some conflict here. Ray's saying yes, you can. Shems is saying no. Jeff is saying it just goes into your library. I have 6K points. Is that a lot, MBG? I don't know. I'm completely unfamiliar with PlayStation Stars. I don't know why. I don't. You would think something like PlayStation Stars would absolutely appeal to me, but it just never did. I don't know why. Maybe I got to look into it. But I don't know, man. Maybe if I do try to. Ray saying you guys are right. So all right. It is tethered to your account in the sense that the money goes right into your own wallet, your PSN wallet. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. 6,000 points is like $30. I want to say something real quick here too. People were saying that they noticed Sony removed certain point redemption offers for PSN cards or PSN money. If I'm not mistaken, people were saying they removed like the $20 option or something like that. Like they reduced it to where it's only like $5 worth of currency or $10 worth of currency. Can anybody confirm this? Because people were really kind of freaking out about that, and I don't know. Again, I'm totally in the dark here. And Steven Leon comes in with another 10 bomb, bro. Steven Leon is not messing around today. A lot of you guys are not messing around. Man, I should have made the goal 100 at this point. You guys are wrecking it here. So Steven Leon's 10 bomb brings us up to, let me see. That brings us up to 72, guys. 72 members. We're 3 away from hitting a third goal. We hit that third goal. I drop another 5 for you, okay? So, Steven, thank you so much, bro. I appreciate all the support you've been showing myself, the family, and the community. It means a lot, man. So let me show you where we're at. 3 away. 3 away. And we crush a third goal. 3 away from crushing a third goal. Not bad. Not bad. Appreciate the support. Let's see. Did Damn, bro. I think Drum Man still didn't get a membership. Will it ever happen? I don't know. Rise of the Ronin is 17 points? Or 17K points. I was going to say 17 points. Bro, that sounds like a glitch. 17,000 points. Dama the Dragoon says only another 150 today, and I can find out if my account is broken. Pushing Polygon says I had 3,500 points this morning. 2,500 points got me $10 in my wallet. Huh. Okay. Yeah, I probably should sign up for this, man. I think I'm just leaving money on the table. It's just what makes it difficult is it's like I buy my games physically. So I just don't know that I would like I don't know that I'm going to feel good. It's like, yeah, I free games, that's awesome, but I like adding to my physical collection. Thank you, Steven. You're saying I got you, bro. I appreciate that, man. Who the hell is Carlos says the PlayStation Stars rewards games they have right now are trash? Yeah, no, I think I probably should sign up. It's just there's no reason for me not to, I guess. Like it can't hurt. If I'm going in with like no expectations. Do physical buyers get anything? That's a great question. I'm assuming no. I can't imagine this rewards program encourages people to buy games physically. That just sounds very unlike Sony. The distaste for digital even extends to free games. I mean, it's don't get me wrong. Like if I get a brand new game or a relatively new game free digitally, that's awesome. Like cool, man. A free game is a free game, but if I know there's a physical version of it out there, I'm just going to be like, man, that's going to be one game missing from my collection though. Shit. Like I don't know. I don't know if I could do this. Can anyone confirm if you get points for getting trophies? Don't tell me that. I don't want to know. Don't answer that question. Oh man. Sorry guys, you don't need it, MBG. I need it. I'm just trying to look around. I see one of the things trending on Twitter right now is Black Ops 6's impact on Game Pass subscribers. Interesting. We've been talking about that. All right, I'm sorry for the dead air right now. I'm curious to see what are these conversations that people are having. Dude, Twitter has to be broken, right? Like they show me something interesting here that I'm interested in talking about, and then there's oh here we go, 5 hours ago from Kami. I don't know if I think it's Kami. Maybe I'm pronouncing that wrong. It's a Kami. Oh, Kami 13. Sorry, I just called him a Kami. Shit, my bad. MBG, can I get a hoo yeah? Hoo yeah, hoo yeah. Hey yo. I don't know. What are you doing to me, man? Thank you, pushing polygons. Yeah. So Okami is reporting, or this is coming from GamesIndustry.biz. Analyst predicts that Call of Duty Black Ops 6 will add about 2.5 to 4 million new Game Pass subscribers. What do we think about that number? What are we thinking about that number? 2.5 to 4 million. Well, in what time frame though? Do they say what time frame? I should probably read the article. Waylark, thank you for the super chat, buddy. You're saying, do you resell physical games, or do they just sit there never to be touched again after platinum, like a digital game, just sits in a library? It's a good question, Waylark. I'm like I'm kind of a weirdo in a sense because in the end, I do sell games. I don't know if that makes me a weirdo though. Like I don't know that part's the weird part. The problem is I've made the mistake many times in the past of like sometimes I sell games because I'm convinced like, I've held on to this long enough and I'm good and I don't really care for it. I don't really care for it at this point. So, I'll get some money for it. But then I regret it and I'm like, shit. I don't think I was actually ready to part with that game. And Shadow Link coming in out of nowhere. Is it because I said the thing? It's because I said the line, isn't it, Shadow Link? Shadow Link comes in and drops a 20 bomb on you guys. You guys are doing some seriously big membership gifting numbers today. Some heavy lifting here. So Shadow Link drops another 20 bomb onto the community. I don't even know where we're at now. We're at 92, guys. Holy shit. So I owe you guys another 5 memberships because you're just absolutely crushing it today. So I'm putting another 5 memberships out there for you guys. All right. Let me. Should be going through right now. So another 5 memberships. I told you every 20. I didn't think when I said every 25 we get, I'll drop another 5 for you guys. But here we are, 3 deep. And that brings us up to 92 members on the day, not even counting the gifts I put out there for you guys. So we'll definitely be doing a morning with the missus tomorrow. And I really appreciate that support, guys. We have an amazingly generous community here. And now we're 8 memberships away from hitting 100 today, guys. So I'll leave it up to you. If we hit that 100 mark, I drop another 5 for you guys. All right. So thank you so much for all the support. Lot of members gifted. A lot of people hopefully will be able to tune in tomorrow for the morning with the missus. I know she's excited for it. I'm looking forward to it. Shadowlink, you're saying you got paid extra this week, unexpected. Well, I appreciate you sharing that with me, man. I appreciate that. That's very kind of you. I did say, yeah, let me make sure I'm correct about that. Yeah, we're 8 members away. We're 8 members away from hitting the 100 mark. Unless something's really messed up here. No, I'm pretty sure that's accurate. Yeah. I'm a little discombobulated because I'm trying not to count the members I'm gifting towards the like total goal. King Sam with a super chat. Thank you, King Sam. You're saying used PlayStation Stars for quite a while, getting points for buying games, DLCs, and doing stuff like playing one of the free monthly games or something from PS Plus catalog. Getting store credit was worth it. I appreciate you sharing that with me, King Sam, because yeah, I that's just kind of what I was thinking. Like all these different things I'm probably doing that would just be accumulating points in the background, and I wouldn't even be thinking about it. And every now and again, I'd probably go check and be like, oh, I because it's not look, it's not like I can't use PSN funds, right? It's not just about buying games. Like if you get currency like DLC, you know, stuff like that, expansions, some stuff. I mean, some games are digital only these days too. I mean, a game that I want to play, but I've been holding out. I've been well. That's another question I have. When it comes to purchasing games, is it like you can only buy from a select catalog, and when you redeem your points, like can you redeem your points for just flat out PlayStation currency? Because I'm under the impression you can. Like if you have X amount of points, you can get um you know you can just get like a $10 PSN credit. Because you're saying here, King Sam, getting store credit was worth it. You only ever spent your points on PSN credit. Okay, so it does work like that. Redeemed funds applies to everything in PS Store. Okay. Yeah, I think I should do that. I should. Because there's definitely things I would buy in the PlayStation Store that aren't necessarily like full games. And Waylark with a super chat says if they say 3 million new subs, $60 or $600 million extra made. Well, yeah, I'm interested in seeing like what. Let me click on the link here. The launch of Call of Duty Black Ops 6 into Game Pass will hurt sales of the game, but we'll see millions of subscribers flock to Xbox's service, leading analyst says. However, the true success won't be immediately known, as it'll depend on whether Xbox can keep subscribers within the service in the months following the game's launch. Oh my God, it's Michael Pachter. We've been bamboozled. I mean, I don't know. Michael Pachter, I don't think people take him seriously at all. So wait, hold on. Wait, my bad. I'm getting ahead of myself. We have another one. Though. So apparently there's multiple analysts, I think. So Wedbush boss Michael Pachter believes that putting Call of Duty Game Pass could result in up to 6 million lost sales based on the idea that 25% of Game Pass subscribers may have bought the game anyway. However, he adds that the move could result in between 3 to 4 million people signing up to Game Pass to access the title. Good overall for Microsoft and for consumers, he told us, but the headline will say Call of Duty sales are down. Ampere's chief game analyst Pierce Harding Rolls is a little more conservative and believes that Call of Duty will result in a 10% increase in Game Pass Ultimate subscribers, so 2.5 million. He also says that not all of those will be completely new users, and it will include those upgrading from Game Pass Core and Game Pass Standard. Call of Duty will only be available in the Ultimate tier. In fact, he feels a good chunk of new subscribers will come from those tiers. Harding Rolls adds that although there will inevitably be some lost premium sales, there is scope to alleviate through other forms of monetization. The removal of the 14-day $1 trial offer is an indication that Microsoft needs to maximize its subscription revenue returns for the introduction of one of gaming's biggest franchises at launch. There is no doubt that adding the latest Call of Duty will be expensive, at least initially for Microsoft. However, Call of Duty is increasingly a live service game first and foremost that monetizes strongly in game. Microsoft will be trading premium full game sales in exchange for a bigger audience that can be monetized in game instead. One of the key questions is how this might impact the game, how this might impact how the game is monetized, and whether there is a bigger onus on in game monetization compared to previous entries in the franchise. In terms of audience expansion, Xbox and PC are likely to be key growth platforms. Cloud support at launch offers some potential, but I think the Call of Duty streaming opportunity aligns most strongly with playing on TV screens and PC monitors rather than on mobile devices where Call of Duty Mobile and Warzone are already popular. Newzoo market analyst, man, I might save this. I might rehash this topic, guys. I'm gonna let you know now because this was not. This came out, I think, as I was streaming, but it's very interesting to me. So we might make this like a main topic of discussion, possibly tomorrow or Sunday, or like one of the main topics. Newzoo market analyst Brett Hunt also believes that Black Ops 6 will attract a stronger audience this year, certainly compared to last year's Modern Warfare 3. However, that's not just because of its inclusion in Game Pass. Black Ops has always been well received, and with a mutually exclusive campaign from Modern Warfare, new movement system in multiplayer, and return of round-based zombies, it should result in numbers much closer to those of Modern Warfare 2 than 3. This is the most Call of Duty has been reinvigorated in recent years, and the numbers will likely reflect this. Newzoo says that Modern Warfare 2 attracted 21.7 million monthly active users in the US compared to just 12 million for Modern Warfare 3. One key discussion point is around the impact Black Ops 6 will have on PlayStation. For the past generation, Sony has had content and marketing exclusivity agreements with Activision over COD, which has now ended. Game Pass is also unavailable on PS5, so could this result in some audience shift from PlayStation towards Xbox? Those who own both Xbox and PlayStation consoles may be swayed to play the game on Microsoft's devices, but cross-platform play and multi-platform accounts mean this is not necessarily a permanent decision, explains Harding Rolls. Indeed, there could be a scenario where PlayStation first multi-console gamers switch to Xbox to play premium campaign while still playing the free-to-play Warzone on their preferred console under a single Activision account. As such, I'm not convinced that the longer-term audience on PlayStation will be significantly disrupted, although Sony will potentially have its storefront share of premium sales undermined to an extent. We're finishing it up here by saying all the analysts we spoke to agreed on one thing, and that's that the success of this move will depend on whether Xbox can retain the new subscribers it brings in beyond the game's launch period, and whether they are prepared to implement a strategy to continually engage new subscribers into 2025. Canton Games Dr. Sirkin Toto believes there is pressure from Xbox to get this right. We all know that Microsoft's gaming unit has not been growing as expected, which is why Microsoft greenlit the ABK mega deal in the first place, he said. Now the pressure on Xbox is sky high. If COD will not make the Game Pass business model work, then what possibly can? Nobody knows what Microsoft's expectations are for Game Pass growth past launch, but if Black Ops 6 does not meet targets, things can become very grim very quickly. I also wonder if Black Ops 6 will be able to retain subscribers in the long run, or if numbers will drop sharply again early next year after the initial hype runs out. However, Pactor believes COD is the perfect game to keep users engaged. Call of Duty players generally play for much longer because of multiplayer and frequent map drops. I think the average is closer to 6 months and a lot of play year-round. The year-round players will sign up and stay. Very interesting. Very interesting to hear from all these analysts. And my YouTube studio crashed once again. Why can it not stop crashing? Why is it cursed? I don't know, man. It's interesting. You know, you have some analysts like Michael Pachter and Pierce Harding's roles that, you know, they're saying that they think it's ultimately going to be fine and good. Dr. Sirkin Toto seems to, you know, he's taking more of the position that there's a lot riding on this and it's got to work. And if it doesn't work, there's going to be big problems. And I don't necessarily agree with that fully. Like, I think Microsoft is fine either way. If Black Ops 6 doesn't move the needle for Game Pass, I think Microsoft's just like, that's okay. We'll just get all the sales. You know what I mean? So like, we'll still take that money. But I think it does maybe jeopardize Game Pass and its long-term viability potentially in terms of growth and whether or not Microsoft wants to continue to see that as their path forward. I think ultimately, and I might talk much more in depth about this again, either tomorrow or on Sunday stream, because this is going to be really interesting to witness. What I will tell you guys that are here right now, though, is I think ultimately what Call of Duty on Game Pass is going to decide is how much Microsoft decides to lean into being more of a third-party publisher. I think that is what we are witnessing. I think that if Call of Duty does huge numbers for Game Pass and again just kind of makes Microsoft feel like, you know what, this is it, it's working, we're finally getting what we want. I think that might make it so that Microsoft is like, maybe we slow down our roll. We slow our roll on going full multi-plat and porting these games to PlayStation because maybe we don't need to because we got Call of Duty and it's inflating Game Pass the way we need it to. Shems, you're saying chat is broken. Hello. Uh-oh. Wait, is it broken? I'm not seeing any movement. I'm not seeing any movement in the chat. Something is wrong with the chat. Dude, I can't. Listen, I just want to say it's like a miracle. It seems to be okay now. I think something went wrong with it for a moment. I'm just saying it's a miracle that we've made it this far today, with all of the technical difficulties, the fact that the stream went as well as it did, and you guys have shown as much support as you have. Absolute nightmare today, technically. So it seems to be okay now. But yeah, that's basically my stance on it. I think that if Call of Duty barely does anything for Game Pass, I think that's going to convince Microsoft that we really need to just we just need to accept that we're going to lean more into third-party publishing. That's what Xbox is mostly going to be, because they can't really lean on Game Pass much anymore if that's the case. So that could be what we're looking at right now. This could also be why I said earlier, like, why is Microsoft being so cagey? They seem to not, they're not necessarily out here telling people like what their plan is. Like, are you bringing more games to PlayStation or not? And I think they're just like, we'll let you know. Let's see how Call of Duty does on Game Pass first, and we'll get back to you. How many Game Pass subs do they have right now? I think they have like 30 million. Does that sound right? I think that's about how. Is it 30 or 35 million? It's one or the other. How is the camera not broke anymore? I think it was just a lot of. I think it was just glitching out. I had to restart the PC, and that seemed to have fixed it. 34 million. That sounds about right. Well, anybody here playing Call of Duty this year? Somebody earlier, like way earlier, I think it was actually in the first stream, the stream that died. They were like, "Bro, Call of Duty in members lounge," and I'm like, "I don't know, maybe at some point." I mean, I played a couple of multiplayer rounds earlier in Black Ops 6, and I'm not gonna lie, man, like it felt pretty good. I'm like, shit, this might be the best Call of Duty's felt in years. But I'm excited to play the campaign. Campaign looks like it's going to be pretty good too. I'm excited for. So honestly, like this is the most excited I felt about Call of Duty in years. And I also want to say this: I played the beta for Black Ops 6, and I think they. I don't know. I don't know if they changed something or what, but when I played the beta, I don't know. Like something about the game now feels way smoother than when I was playing the beta. I don't know what it is. Maybe like I was accidentally using a Wi-Fi connection and it was just messing up my. Because I'm using a wired connection now and like it's registered as a wired connection. And I was playing some multiplayer games. I'm like, Jesus, why does this feel so smooth, bro? Like until the skill-based matchmaking catches up. Yeah, it could be that. Yeah, right. I'm in the honeymoon phase. It's like, yeah, we'll let him have some good rounds. Because I was playing good too. I'm like, I'm holding my own here. But it's feeling pretty good. I'll see. I'll see how long I end up playing Call of Duty for, but I gotta admit, like, I'm pretty impressed with the rollout of Black Ops 6 in terms of like it seems like they kind of got everything right, at least as far as I can tell. I got to play the campaign, but they're definitely going in with the nostalgia. Um, they're definitely playing into the fact that like it's been a while since you played Black Ops, and dude, the replacer ads, come on, man, that's like they really got me with them. I'm like, damn, you brought back the replacer, and it's funny because the guy that they have playing the replacer, he's Peter Stormare is his name. He's an actor. He's in Until Dawn. He's the doctor or the therapist or whatever in Until Dawn. I'm like, why is this guy everywhere now? Fun fact: he played the devil in Keanu Reeves's Constantine. Campaign looks awful. Oh, I hope not. I don't know. I have a lot of good memories with the Black Ops campaigns. I mean, I honestly Black Ops 1's campaign, World at War's campaign was really good, but Black Ops 1, that had an incredible campaign, dude. That was like the most unforgettable campaign to me. I'm like, this is amazing. And I don't know that I expect it to live up to that, but we'll see. I hope it's not disappointing. But saying I downloaded Call of Duty yesterday on Game Pass with Modern Warfare 3 campaign, the download files are 210 gigabytes. Yeah, I saw that as well, and I'm going to have to go in. I think I have like Warzone installed, Modern Warfare 3 installed or something. I got other stuff installed. I'm like, I'm not playing any. I don't know what any of this is. I don't want this here. I just want the Black Ops stuff installed. So I'm going to have to clean that up. You have room for COD without expanding your memory. Well, I mean, right now, I think I'm cutting it close. I don't know. I actually got to check. So what's different from this COD, and why does every talk about it, how the game feels every single year like the previous year didn't feel like Call of Duty? I mean, so one of the things I noticed with Black Ops 6, and I don't know if this is in my head or what, it feels like, and maybe this is what changed from the beta, like it feels like they changed something with the what's the oh my god, I'm drawing a blank on what it's called. The aim assist. Call of Duty's always had extremely strong aim assist. Where like if you're aiming down sights and somebody walks by, like you'll actually automatically start to follow them. I think they changed the way aim assist works where it's actually much weaker now. And because of that, it creates a more natural, I don't know how to describe it, but like when you aim down sights and you land like 5 shots on somebody, it feels in a way more satisfying because you felt in a sense more in control of those shots. Where like previously with really strong maybe I'm totally off the mark here, maybe I'm completely wrong. But I don't know, it's like you still feel good with strong aim assist. You still feel good about the kill, but it feels, I don't know. There's just, I don't know what it is. I got to play more of it, but something about this year's Call of Duty feels smoother, man. It feels good. I'm getting nervous because I'm like, am I about to get wrecked by skill-based matchmaking? And it's like the only reason it feels good because like they're putting me in with like noobs and everybody sucks. And, you know, like they were like, okay, now we're putting you in with the sweats. Let's see how smooth it feels then. You got 4 2 terabyte SSDs. I got room if I did play COD. Yeah, you should be set. Microsoft is winning him over again. Watch out. Well, I mean, it's not so much Microsoft. I mean, I know Microsoft owns Call of Duty now, but to be honest, like whether they own Call of Duty or not, I'm gonna, you know, I have a soft spot for the Black Ops games, man. I always have, and I probably always will. Zizledge, you're saying I can't wait to play Metal Gear Solid Delta remake on the Pro. Absolutely, man. I'm still sitting here waiting for I'm waiting for that release date announcement, man. Patiently waiting. Dude, I think Metal Gear Solid Delta is going to look insanely good on the Pro. Like, I can't wait to see, because every trailer I've seen, I'm like, this looks incredible. Streamers are starting new COD accounts to avoid skill-based matchmaking. My God. They're going that far out of their way? I don't know, man. I understand people's frustration with skill-based matchmaking. It can be annoying, but Matt York, you're asking, did you miss the PS5 Pro topic? You did, yeah. We're actually nearing the very end of the stream. The first, I don't know how many people are not going to know this, but the first stream that was out was broken. For the first hour, it was broken. We didn't get to talk any topics. I had to delete it and restart it. But yeah. Is COD Pro enhanced? I don't know. They didn't say it is. It might be, like, secretly. I'll let you know. I mean, it looks really good. I'll tell you, I'm playing Black Ops 6 on the base PS5. If there's one thing you got to give if not Activision, you got to give the studios, Infinity Ward, Treyarch, Sledgehammer, give them credit where it's due, man. Like, they churn out these Call of Duty games every year. They are always stunning graphically, and if not stunning, just top tier, because I will admit, like, you can start to tell as they're continuing to still support the PS4, like, how much better could this look? They probably, if they went current gen only, they could definitely get more out of it. But the games still look good, the games still look good. And they run smooth. The graphics are good. You got to give them that credit. They make sure that every year they got a pretty well polished game. It's kind of like a sports title, I guess, at that point. Carlos, you're saying Alan Wake 2 is way too demanding, and The Last of Us Part 2 and other first-party games are old. Metal Gear Solid Delta is like the perfect game for the PS5 Pro. It is. It's an Unreal Engine 5 game as well, which I think makes it even more interesting. And yeah, it's going to be fascinating to see what the Pro does for these Unreal Engine 5 games that have struggled a little bit in certain areas. Why did you delete the first stream? Why not just rename it to Troubleshooting with MBG? Well, because I already put a video out earlier, and I don't want to completely flood people's sub boxes, and have like 3 or 4 different things in a row lined up, especially for something so ridiculous. Is Konami secretly the king of UE5? Uh-oh. Okay, says, do you think Phil's tour of all the Xbox studios wearing a Gaming for Everyone t-shirt was to inform studios about PS5 development? Is this something that just recently happened, okay? Did he recently tour the studios wearing this shirt? Maybe. It would have been even better if he was wearing a shirt with a DualSense on it or something, or a PlayStation logo. Just a shirt with a PS5 on it straight up. No, even better. Imagine Phil touring the Xbox studios, and on his shirt is just the silhouette of a PS5 dev kit. You want to send the message. That's how you send the message. But all right, guys. So here's what we're going to do. We are 8 members away from hitting 100 today, okay? I'm perfectly fine leaving it at 92. That's still huge, okay? A big day for member gifts. Can't thank you guys enough for that. I will just let you know if we do hit that 100, because I'm going to wrap the stream up in like the next 2 or 3 minutes. Because, at this point, it's basically like over a 4-hour stream, counting the one that went to shit. If we hit 100, I'll drop another 5 gifts for you guys before we head out. But I do want to remind you that the goal today was initially 50 members. And if we hit that 50 members, I promised that we will do a Morning with the Misses tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern. Just be prepared. It might get delayed to 10:30 a.m. Eastern time. So 10:30 the latest, but I'm shooting for 10. And we're going to hang out. And And that's as a big thank you, as a big thank you to the community for continuing to show such strong support. Come on, peeps. MBG needs more RAM. Dude, I do not need more RAM. I have 64 gigs of RAM, bro. So believe me when I tell you, I'm overkill with RAM. Any problems I run into, RAM is not the problem. I think it's just I'm almost starting to wonder if it's the cord itself. It's either the camera. I know, Ray. I know you know. Ray, you've been here. You've been around long enough. I think you were here when I was like, bro, did I go overkill with 64 gigs RAM? And everybody's like, yeah, you really didn't need 64 gigs. But I think it might be the wire or the I might have to mess with it. It's okay now. I'm thinking maybe the PC just needed to be restarted. That does happen. The 3060 is getting long in the tooth. It's Microsoft's Edge browser. I'm actually using Chrome today. How old's the camera? I think it's about 3 years old, 3.5 years old. It's not that old. I mean, it's not like I abuse it. It's not, I clean it. It's not dusty or anything. People were asking me if it was like getting hot, and like, no. So, I mean, it seems like it's fixed. You shut your mouth, Capono. Don't you dare condescend me, Capono. I will not stand for this. You're saying probably just a driver conflict. If your camera mic and dedicated mic tried working at the same time, that may happen. I think you may be right, because I kept noticing it every time I kept clicking like the option to toggle on the camera. It was like showing a second one, and I'm like, I don't have a second camera. And when I would click the second one, it would turn this one on, and then it would freeze. So I was like, I don't know. I don't know what's going on there. All right, let me go check on something here. Oh yeah, let's go check the poll. So I put out a poll. We got we have exactly 486 votes on the poll. Guys, I'm going to end this poll in just a couple seconds. So if you haven't voted, vote now, and we'll check the results. And then we'll wrap this up and head out. I think the power supply could be failing, not giving enough power to the mic and the camera. I hope not. I mean, what do you guys do with your PCs? When you're not using your PC for like hours, right? Like, I'm done using my PC for the day, and I'm not going to use it till tomorrow. Do you shut it down? Do you put it in sleep? What's the best thing to do to preserve the longevity? Just shutting it down? I feel like shutting it down completely is the best way to do that. Okay. Yeah, I think I got to get better at doing that. I mean, I know it enters sleep mode on its own after like 30 minutes with no use, but I probably also got to check to see how dusty it is. I haven't cleaned out the inside of the PC in a while. Running fast, pulling more dust and wear and tear on the entire PC. You want to restart it every so often? Yeah, I was thinking about that. I'm like, how long has it been since I restarted my PC? Probably like 2 weeks. I need more VRAM. Do you keep your Intel CPU and GPU drivers updated? I mean, if they're not updating automatically, then the answer is no. Like I'm not anything that requires a manual update. I'm not updating because I just don't. I don't probably don't even know how. I did clean the cache recently though. I cleared all the cookies in the cache, which you guys recommended. I did that, and I think it did help quite a bit. Um, overall, with just like web browsing and whatnot. That's interesting. Pushing polygons. You're saying I've run a PC for almost 5 years. Rarely does it get shut down. Interesting. You had a routine where you would clear cookies and cache and shit. I know I was like, wait, did I say that wrong? No, you said and shit the PS down after that. The PC. I'm all over the place. Shut the PC down after that. Yeah, I would clear the cookies and the cache and then I would just shit on my PC and that seemed to fix everything. That's funny. That's good stuff. All right, guys. I think this is the end of the line for this stream. Okay, says you might be having a number of driver issues if you're not keeping everything manually up to date. I mean, I guess the only thing I'll ask is it simply? Is it simple? Oh my god, I'm stroking out. Is it simply? Is it simple to manually update these things? How easy is it on a scale from 1 to 10? Because if it's really easy, I'll do it. Even if it's difficult, I'll try to do it. Because if that's what's causing the problem, I don't want to keep running into problems. Is it simply? It's really easy. Very simple. 10. Okay. Just go into NVIDIA control panel. All right, wait, hold on. Maybe you guys can walk me through this real quick. Can I do it live? If I go to the start menu, settings, system, would it be under system? I'll end the stream. Oh. I'm just looking around now at some stuff. Display. Yeah, I don't know. I won't even. I know it's probably somewhere around here. Do you have GeForce experience? Let me check. What do I have? NVIDIA control panel. Here we go. Oh, wait. Shit. Is this going to end my stream? I opened it. Guys, is the stream ended? NVIDIA control panel. Display. Video. MVG's cooked. I'm just looking around at stuff now. I don't know. Yeah, my brain feels kind of cooked right now. I might have to look into this a little bit later. Hit the Windows key, type in update. see a driver update. Check for updates. Yeah, I don't know what the hell I'm looking at right now. So yeah, I might just have to watch a YouTube video. Maybe G, you have an RTX card but no NVIDIA app. Heresy. We don't talk about this. Windows Update will not update GPU drivers. I think I swear there was something I was trying to figure out with a setup configuration with two screens before where I think it walked me through. It was like, make sure your drivers are up to date. And I was like, how do I do that? I was like Googling that, like, how do I do it? And it was basically like, well, here's how you do it. And then I went there and I went to click like, okay, update. And it was like, you're already up to date. Like you have the latest driver update or whatever. I was like, oh, okay. Well, hit your Windows key and then type in update. We'll give you Windows Update. GeForce Experience is how you update the NVIDIA drivers. Okay. Or AMD drivers. You need to update both on the app itself. Okay, now you're freaking me out, Chris. Make sure you update your Windows and drivers. If you update one without the other, you can possibly be stuck in a failed window boot loop. Well, I mean, it doesn't say. I think I'm fully up to date with Windows. So there is that. Check for updates. Let's see. You're up to date. View additional updates or optional. Driver updates. There are no. There doesn't seem to be any driver updates listed here. All right. Well, I might look into it. We'll see. We'll see if I have any. If I have like more issues, maybe today was just a one-off. You're spooking him. We want him to like PC. Run away. Let me end this poll. 500 votes. Are you getting Horizon Zero Dawn Remastered? 46% of you said yes with the $10 upgrade. 45% said no. And 7% said yes, buying full price. Damn. And Zagatka comes in. The final moments of the stream, he's like, we got to get to the 100 mark, bro. We got to do it. Zagatka comes in and drops a 5 bomb for you guys. That brings us to 97 members. Guys, as we are about to close out the stream, we have 97. Are we going to do it? Are we going to hit 100? Can we do it? If we hit 100, I'll drop another 5 extra memberships for you guys as a thank you. So I'll give you a moment here. I'll give you guys a moment to see if you want to, anybody wants to drop any singles. Who's going to do it? Alvin drops one. Alvin says, we're going to do it, MBG. We're going to get to 100. Alvin drops a single. That brings us to 98. 2 more. So somebody's furiously trying to drop a membership gift right now, hoping they'll be the 100th gifter. You know it's happening. If you're like 3 people at the same time, that does happen on occasion at like the exact same time. Alvin, thank you for the membership gift, bro. We're 2 away. 2 away. Ray drops one. He's been waiting. He's like, I've been waiting for my moment. Ray, thank you so much. 99. Guys, one more gift and we hit the 100 mark and I'll drop another 5 for you guys and we will call it a stream. Very successful one at that. W's in the chat for these gifters. I appreciate it, guys. I appreciate all the support, really. No way, Luna. Uh-oh, is it going to happen? Are we going to stay stuck at 99? This can't be. This can't be. What kind of curse is this? We're stuck at 99. No way. We're actually stuck at 9. What are you guys doing? You can't do this to me. You can't do this to me. Maybe if I update it. I mean, I would end the stream and be like, okay, I guess we're not getting 100, but I feel like if I do that, as soon as I end it, somebody's gonna drop that last gift. See, I'm glad I didn't do it. I was about to end it, but I'm like, I'm gonna miss it. Ray does it. Ray's like, you know what? We'll do it. There we go. Boom.
Holy shit.
Oh no, Titus. Titus is like, I'm late. It's okay, Titus. You could be 101. Bro, I owe you guys another 5. Titus drops 1. Ray drops 1. Ray got us to the 100 mark. Titus, you dropped the first 5 today, man. I didn't forget. You kicked it off. So, oh, here we go. Now it's going to pull some bullshit. This is what I'm talking about, man. Now YouTube's pulling some bullshit. They just removed my... Hold on, I'm going to have to do it. I'm going to have to find an alternative way to do it. Bear with me, guys. I owe you 5 more memberships. I hope it lets me. I think it's working. YouTube pisses me off anymore, man. There we go. There we go. All right. Awesome stuff today, guys. This definitely wraps it up. Huge day for member gifts. Before I roll out. My God, what am I even saying? Before I roll out, where am I rolling to? I don't know. The other room. Before I end the stream, I do just want to extend a huge thank you to all of you guys. Anybody who dropped membership gifts today, thank you so much. Anybody who dropped super chats, you guys are the GOATs, for real. You guys are the sponsors of the channel. You guys make it possible for me to do this, to continue running this thing, and to continue to have these conversations and discussions. It would be wild if MBG's NVIDIA drivers are years out of date. See, now you're giving me... I'm going to have to look into it, clearly. I'm going to have to look into it. Giving me anxiety now. And Michael comes in. Michael Wozniak comes in at the end here and also drops a membership gift for you guys. At this point, I think I've lost track. I think we're... What? That's like 102, I think? So, Michael, thank you for that, buddy. Yeah, you guys are awesome. I honestly... I'm not going to lie. I was feeling super discouraged at the beginning of today when we first did that stream because, you know, I thought my camera was broken. I thought, man, this is going to go horribly. Nobody's going to want to tune in now. And I let everybody down. It's going to be a bad day. But instead, we turned it around. The camera still works. And you guys came in and showed just honestly awesome support. So really, sincerely, thank you guys so much for that. I do hope you enjoyed the stream. Tomorrow, again, if you're a channel member, 10 a.m. Eastern, we're going to do a morning with the missus. And then after that, we're probably going to transition into a regular, regularly scheduled stream. So I'll see you guys there. And also want to make sure I give a shout out to Devil Shooter. He does the timestamps for all the streams. He does an amazing job. So Devil Shooter, thank you for what you do, man. If you guys see him in the comments, show him some love. Give him some thanks. I know he greatly appreciates it. So, all right, guys. that does it. Just hit that like button on your way out to help the stream, and I will see all of my members tomorrow morning. Shadowlink, you're saying not gonna lie, MBG gifting is fun. When I have it, I drop some. Well, I appreciate that, man. I appreciate it. So I'll see you tomorrow in the with the members content, Shadowlink, and to everybody else. Yeah, I'll catch you guys with the next stream. So enjoy the rest of your day, evening, or night, and that's it. I have to go check on my drivers or whatever. So, all right, guys, that does it. Until next time, take care.